Hey, surprise.
Yeah.
Well, it's not really a surprise, is it? Here
No,
we
it's not
are
a surprise.
again. Friday night. We're always here on Friday night to do our favorite show of the week. Hooray!
Yep, we're already drinking.
Well, that's always the case.
Yeah.
I've been drinking since 6:30,
Yeah,
but like not chugging it. This is still my first glass.
Yeah.
This is my first one still.
Oh, is that where? Oh, you start. That's where the Sprite went. You've been drinking it that early?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I always.
I was like, man, we're gonna go through this shit quick.
No, I already
Okay.
made. Yeah, I
You already had some.
Yeah, I already had some.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't so much that because we got like this. He got the smaller.
Got those 1.5 liter, 1.2 liter Sprite.
1.2 liter. How random.
Yeah, they had them on sale. I got a couple of them.
Good old Dollar
And
General.
they cool off quicker when it's only 1 liter.
Yeah,
More
that's
surface
true.
area.
Yeah.
More surface area.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
know my
guess.
science, bitch. I scienced the shit out of this shit. I scienced the shit out of this shit.
Yeah.
That's scientific terminology. I'm sciencing the shit out of shit.
We need I need a shirt that says that.
Yeah, I'm sciencing the fuck out of shit.
I need a shirt with your little face on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your little bald head and your little like.
Yeah,
little beard.
looking at 2 liters and 1 liter.
I science the shit out of
Science in
shit.
it, yeah.
That's pretty funny, actually. But yeah, so hopefully everybody in the United States had a good Thanksgiving yesterday. It was a pretty chill day. You know what I mean? Had
Yeah,
so
got a lot of food left.
much food. I didn't go crazy. You know?
Yeah.
Like, honestly, it took a bit longer to cook than we were expecting.
Yeah.
So we actually didn't eat all day
Yeah.
and then I think we ate at like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
So we hadn't eaten all day. So I ate a plate and then I was like, I'm gonna have a little bit more, and then I was like, oh no. And then like about an hour and a half, 2 hours later, I had one piece of pie. So that was all I ate, but we still have so much food left.
You know I'm lord of the land now because I hired a hand today. I hired a guy to help me with the lawn. Yeah.
Well, you know.
He's using all my stuff, but he's doing the weed eating and doing the gardens and fucking, I don't have time for all that shit.
Yeah, it's like
Edging. I mow it. It's an acre.
It's an acre, but we have a
Yeah.
riding lawnmower, so it's not a huge deal just doing the mowing,
Right.
but all the edging and trimming the hedges
man.
and all that other, because the HOA is real
They're
bitches about it.
Yeah, they want the shit to look like a park.
So
It's got to be perfect. So
It's better to just hire somebody.
Yeah, I
to
got a
do
guy
it.
to come by once a month and fucking take care of it. I mean, I can do the little shit, but once a month for the winter, maybe give him twice. It only costs him. I'm paying him $15 an hour, so it ends up being about $100 a visit, which that's actually less than a whole crew. They want $300 a week.
Well,
No, $300 a month. $300 a month.
Well, for a crew, I mean,
For a crew,
that's a
right.
bunch of guys.
That's a bunch of dudes, yeah, and they get it done in 10 minutes, but I'm not going to do that, so I'm going to hire this guy. And he's small-time operation. He just comes in and he's using my equipment.
Yeah, so he doesn't have his
So
own
he doesn't
stuff.
have to use his equipment. He
Yeah,
uses
that's
mine.
like not a big deal.
Yeah.
Like I said, we just need him for like the edging, for like little stuff.
Yeah, I got all electric equipment. I like the electric because the batteries are expensive. It's like $100 for a battery, but they're pretty powerful. I got like 4 of those fucking batteries and chargers. I got all different kinds of cutters and weed eaters, edgers, hedge trimmers. I got a big old fucking limb cutter. It's like a chainsaw on the end of a pole. You can cut limbs off of trees. Fucking chainsaws, and they're all electric, which is kind of good because I wouldn't do it for institutional use. For heavy duty use, you want gasoline powered, but if if just for a house, that's electric's fine, because it can sit for years. You don't have to worry about fucking 2-stroke fucking carburetors fucking gunking up or anything, and fucking plugs and shit like that. You don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about fuel. You just charge a battery up, and the tools are cheap. The only thing that's expensive is those batteries.
Yeah.
Like the chainsaw is only like $30-$40, but the battery's $100. Because that's where all the technology is. In that fucking battery. The battery is like this big, man. Big old fucking lithium battery. Press it, you can see how much is in it. I got those Cobalt brand. So I got him using that. And he came down on the price if he's using my equipment.
Right.
You know. He's happy with it. He's a retired guy. He's even older than me. But I said, fuck it, man. Take your time.
We're not in any big rush.
You're not a big hurry. Not a big rush, yeah.
Like I said, just because you don't want to do it.
I don't want to do it. It's fucking hot. It's not hot right there right now.
Actually, it was cold today.
Yeah. Yeah, it was cold.
Sorta.
You're right.
It's 52 right now, it says.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, for Florida, that's kind of cold. I think it was in the 40s this morning when I got up. Which I like that, but, you know, a lot of Floridians are like, oh, God, kill me. Like I said, when we went to Animal Kingdom, I think, like, in the morning, like, we got there at, like, 8:30 or 9 in the morning, and it was probably, like, in the 50s, maybe high 40s. And I was like, wow, it's so nice. Like, but, like, some people there, like, legit had parkas on. I was like, well, you could spot the Floridians, that's for sure. Like, the ones that had fucking coats. And I was like, joke's on you, because it's going to be, like, 70 degrees, like, later. And you're going to be carrying that fucking coat around all day. That's why I didn't wear one. See? I know. Yeah, my sister was the same. She was just like, I'm just going to wear short sleeves. If I'm cold in the morning, it's fine, because I'm not going to carry a fucking coat around all day.
So everybody's in. You got Grampers here talking about that the stuffing's killing him. Zach's here.
Spackle to the innards.
Yeah.
It's so good, though. It's probably not my favorite thing.
I made some good stuff in this
But
year.
there's, it's like, all of it's good. I mean, geez, we had so much stuff. Like,
I made homemade cornbread, and then I made the stuffing out of the cornbread.
Yeah. So the stuffing was actually really, really good.
Yeah.
It's always good, but
it only used half of it. I froze the other half.
Oh, okay, nice.
Because that way I don't have to do it again with the other turkeys.
Yeah.
Because me and Jen got a shitload of turkeys.
Yeah, because Publix always, like, a week or so before
Yeah, 4
Thanksgiving,
turkeys.
they always put everything on sale.
Yeah.
And we got, like, 4 smaller ones. Like, I think you can only buy 2 at once. But, you know, and you have to go back, like, the next day.
They're 49 cents a pound.
Yeah.
So we got 4 of them, man.
And I love turkey.
They're only like $5 or $6 for a turkey.
Yeah, I think the couple we got were like
$5, $6.
Yeah, like $5 or $6 each.
So I got 4 of them.
Cause
eat them all year.
Yeah, because like I said,
a ham.
I love turkey.
Yeah.
So, and it's always funny because some people are just like, they don't really like turkey. I'm like, well, have you ever had one that was cooked properly?
Yeah, you know how to cook them.
Because they're always like, they're so dry. I'm like, they're really not.
You don't know how to cook it.
It's like you cooked it too long.
That was why, man, I was watching some of these like British people reacting to like American food, you know, and they don't like turkey. So oh, it's just too dry. And they're here in the United States and they're like, oh no, have this turkey. They tasted it. It's like they had it for the first time. Like, oh, wait a minute, whoa.
Now we understand.
Yeah.
Like why I love turkey.
Americans don't cook turkey the way British do for some reason. You'd think that we have the same internet. You just read the fucking instructions. It's well, depending on what kind of oven you have, it's very low temperature for a long period of time, and it's covered in tin foil
for most of the time.
For most of the time, yeah, and it's also stuffed. You're basting it every now and then, so the cooking time is very long. When it's done, it should have a slightly crispy skin on the outside. When you grab a leg, it should just fall off the bone. Mm-hmm. And it should just be moist. When you cut through the breast...
If you did it right.
If you did it right. When you cut through the breast, just clear juices flow out of it. It's moist.
You said moist.
And juicy. Real juicy. It's like juicier than fried chicken. But close. A lot softer, though. It just falls apart. And the dark meat will be really tender. Jane likes the dark meat on turkey.
Yeah. He always pulls all that aside for me.
Yeah, I let her have all the dark meat. I think dark meat's mediocre. It's not bad, but I prefer the breast meat.
I like white meat too, but if given the choice, I'll usually have a bit of both. But I like the dark meat, and he does not care for it, so I'll eat it.
And we have Southern Thanksgiving, which is a little bit different than Northern Thanksgiving. Our stuffing is cornbread-based stuffing. But it's the same seasoning. And we have stuff like sweet potatoes. And up north, they don't usually have sweet potatoes. Now in the South, sometimes it'll be candied sweet potato, which is sweet potato with brown sugar. Or sweet potato with marshmallows. They do
Mar-
that
yeah, that's pretty popular.
That's also pretty popular.
With like, and sometimes like a pecan type crust.
Pecan sugar crust on it. Yeah. Each family kind of has their own recipe.
Which is good, but it's more desserty to me. I usually just like a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Didn't do a green bean casserole. I don't really care for them.
We didn't do it this year.
Yeah, I don't really care for those. But
yeah, that's real southern. Although I think they have that up north also.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty universal.
That's pretty just
I don't really like it though. It's okay, but I could take it.
I like it.
You know, some people that's their favorite thing.
Green bean casserole. It's redneck or it's white trash as hell. You just take
it really is.
canned green beans and you throw them in a glass pan. Take a couple of cans of Campbell's soup, cream and mushroom soup mix, and you just mix it in there. Yeah. You put a little bit of milk in it just to loosen it up.
It's pretty low effort.
Yeah, and then you put on, and then you cover the whole top of it with canned fucking onion rings. It's
French's fried onions.
French's fried onion rings. Which
you got to get that kind.
Which is like almost kind of like an imitation onion ring. Yeah, you put that on there and you cover it and you bake it. It comes out. It's just fucking gorgeous. It's awesome. It's good. Just a side. But I got pies down there and everything.
Yeah, the pumpkin pie is good. I haven't tried the other one yet.
Yeah, it's 3-berry ice cream or 3-berry pie.
I'll have some of that after the show, maybe.
Yeah.
But you know,
I have homemade whipped cream, but I gotta whip it again.
Yeah, but like, everything came out really, really good. Yeah. I mean, it always does. It's not like we ever have any disappointments in that regard.
Yeah.
But
Brazilian cream style corn.
Yeah. Oh my god, that shit's so good. I could probably just eat a whole plate of that.
And I had homemade mashed potatoes, and about 1/3 of the mashed potatoes in there was actually rutabaga.
Yeah, that came out really good. That was a good idea.
Yeah,
that was a good idea.
And then I had some Polish beets. Pretty good.
All good. Had rolls.
Yeah.
And then
gravy.
That gravy was good. I had some.
Yeah.
I didn't have any yesterday, but I had some today, like when we had lunch leftovers. Haven't done a sandwich yet though. I'll probably do that tomorrow because we still have a fuck ton left over. Okay, so Zach is asking. This is actually pretty fun. He says, I made a fun post on the Ask Old People subreddit today. I need to go over there and check that subreddit out.
Ask Old People?
Ask Old People. About who or what from when they were young was going to be the next big thing but wasn't.
Wait a minute,
what? When they were a kid, like what was supposed to be the next big thing, but it didn't turn out that was the next big thing. And he said so many people said such and such band or artist were supposed to be the next Beatles, but then they disappeared. And then he said, have you ever heard of Terrence Trent D'Arby? I remember him.
Yeah, he was around for a little while.
Yeah, he was kind of hot for a minute. Like I remember him having one hit, maybe 2 hits.
Yeah, 2.
Was it 2?
I think it was 2.
I remember him, kind of. And I do remember. I don't know if anybody said it was going to be as big as the Beatles, but he was kind of like the it dude for like a minute.
Yeah, Milli Vanilli, same thing. It turned out that wasn't them.
And that wasn't even them. That was like a huge fucking.
That was.
To me, I remember that happening, and I just like I wasn't into Milli Vanilli. It's not my kind of music, so I was just kind of like I thought it was so funny. Like I felt bad for them because that would be horribly embarrassing. Like if that happened to you in real life, they were performing live on it was an awards show or something, wasn't it? I don't remember seeing MTV Awards or whatever the fuck it was. And this is how fucking old school this was. They were singing along to a vinyl record.
Yeah.
Like backstage, and it skipped.
Yeah.
And it's like, did they not think that would... I mean, I thought even in the 80s, because they were big in like, 87 or something like that?
Yeah.
I thought they at least had like digital tape.
Or
Did they not? Like, or they could have just used a cassette for Christ's sake. I mean, your cassette player could still eat it.
What was funny is that they could have said, well, we just didn't want to do it live, so we just did a canned performance, which that was common.
Yeah.
The thing is that wasn't them on the record either. Neither one of those dudes could sing.
Yeah, that's not...
They could just dance.
That wasn't their voices.
That wasn't their voices at all. It was too big. It was a couple of... It was one fat white dude, wasn't it?
I don't remember what they looked like.
I
do remember they were both pretty hefty, though.
Yeah. Yeah, but the guys fucking dancing and shit were like... Good-looking black dudes with dreads and shit, fucking shorts and shit.
That's kind of hilarious to me. That
they didn't look.
It was all lip syncing. That wrote and sang the song was like, well, you guys aren't really photogenic. Let's
Yeah,
put
so
it
put
that
some guys
you
in
have
there.
voices for radio,
Yeah,
as
right.
they used to say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they don't really want to see you, so it's like, let's put these hot dudes in there and pretend they're the ones that are singing, even though they weren't.
Yeah, they were just selected for the way they looked and that they could dance.
And it's like that.
The whole thing was fake.
Yeah.
Which makes you wonder how many bands were fake. I think a lot of them were.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
Just
think it was any secret that a lot of them were manufactured.
Yeah.
But I think that was kind of like a step too far.
Yeah.
Because
it was
it's
like
like
something you do in Japan.
Yeah, because it's like it wasn't even them singing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was like, so I think that was like a little too much for people.
They would
That's why it was
totally
a big
do that in
scandal.
Japan, though. In Japan, they would totally do something like that.
Probably.
And get away with it.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe they wouldn't think it was as big a deal.
No. Well, the whole idol thing in Japan and their version of pop is totally manufactured. It's manufactured. That's why they have very short shelf lives in Japan. J-pop.
Yeah, I don't, like I said, I've never really been into, I don't, no shade on people that like that kind of stuff, but I never really got into just this whole, it's just kind of this breezy fun. Like, I'm really into music, and it's like, it's got to be, I like some stupid shit too, but I don't know. I don't really like that kind of just throwaway.
Yeah, to be
sort of pop
to be a
music.
legit band in the United States, you have to come up through the club scene. You have to play in clubs. You got to start with that, and then you're a real band. A lot of our early goth bands were like that. Fucking, there are no. I can't think of any of them that were just assembled out of nothing.
Yeah,
Can
not
you?
really. No, not offhand. I can't.
Even Rose McDowell from Strawberry Switchblade, she was already hanging out with Boyd Rice and all those guys from the early, fucking neo-folk, gothic neo-folk bands before they were in Strawberry Switchblade. And that was a Japanese effort. They played there. But they were really from the club scene. And they went back to it when Strawberry Switchblade fucking fell apart.
Well, I think that, remember when Duran Duran came out in the early 80s, and they kind of got a lot of flack for being just like fake pretty boys or whatever, but I will add that one, they wrote their own songs and played their own instruments, and two, they also came from the club scene. They came up actually with the whole new romantic movement in Birmingham.
Yeah.
And so they were a real band.
Yeah, they were poor.
Yeah, they had producers like, massage their stuff, as most big bands did.
Yeah.
But they did largely write their own shit, and they played all their own instruments.
Yeah, Duran was a real band. They came from an underground club scene. They knew all the punk rockers and shit from England, that they were from that background. New Romantics, they fucking would have known the guys from like Soft Cell and
yeah,
they all knew each other.
They all kind of hung out together.
They were all
it was a much smaller scene
club.
back then, obviously.
Yeah. And their first album, you could tell that, with that first album, they had been polishing that album because they were performing it live. And those bands always have outside help. People to come in to help them mix music. Guys that are more musically talented going, this is a great song, but you know what? It shouldn't really be that way. It should be this. That. Yeah. Okay, yeah, we'll do it that way.
Well, sometimes it's better to have an outside perspective on it, too, because sometimes you get so immersed in your own work that you can't really see flaws, or you can't,
And the British the British of that generation did have an advantage. And some of their advantages were disadvantages, which is, you'll understand what I'm talking about. They had a decent public school system that spent money on a band and music lessons. They also had a bad economy. So you have poor kids who were going to public school, but they were given musical training. And that's kind of an explosive mixture. Those kids ended up becoming fucking one of England's greatest imports. And that became and it was by accident, really. They didn't know they were going to create a whole generation of rock stars. They did, though. And most of those kids that made it ended up moving to the United States. I think probably more than half of them are now American citizens now. But they got England famous. And it was all from that punk rock, British New Wave movement. And that was after the Beatles. There was some shit that the Beatles the Beatles and the Rolling Stones really did break a lot of new grounds.
Honestly.
But during the time that the Beatles and the fucking Rolling Stones were around, you had Americans making inroads into fucking English music that was blowing them away, like Johnny Ray and shit. He was from the South.
I kind of feel like he was way bigger in the UK than he was.
Yeah, he's bigger in the UK than he was.
I mean, I wasn't alive then, but
right.
Just from so many like British pop stars like
talk about Johnny
reference
Ray.
him,
Yeah.
And like hardly anybody here remembers
here he's
who
not
he
known.
was. He's like very unknown.
He was kind of like a B-rated Elvis or a C-rated Elvis. About like Elvis, but he was like kind of like C class. Elvis was is remembered, and Little Richard, and James Brown, and who was the
Jerry Lee Lewis.
Jerry Lee Lewis. Him, they're remembered, but Johnny Ray wasn't really remembered. But he was big in England, and he influenced a lot of people.
It seems.
In a lot of the new wave scene was influenced by him. Billy Idol mentions him in one of his songs. Dexy's
Midnight
Runners fucking talked about him in that fucking little Irish jig.
I think Morrissey was kind of into him
too.
I think he homaged him in a couple of things.
Yeah.
So.
And fucking what was it? Wales. Fucking with what's his name? Shit, man.
I'm not sure.
What comes up must come down. Spinning wheels round and round. Pen rider, painted pony, let the man rise. What that guy's name? What was his name? You're from fucking Wales.
I can't remember.
Tom Jones.
Was that Tom? Yeah, I guess so.
Tom Jones, man.
You should have said "What's New Pussycat" and I would have known exactly.
I don't know that song. Yeah. Tom Jones, yeah. Tom Jones, fucking.
Yeah, that song. Like Camp Guy says, that's Blood, Sweat, and Tears.
What's that?
That song you just sang.
No, it wasn't. I thought that was fucking. No,
that's why I don't know. That's why I was.
No,
confused.
I heard Tom Jones singing it. He must have been doing a cover.
Maybe. Because, like I said, if you'd said like,
I've heard him singing it. Fucking Tom Jones sent fucking Cassandra Peterson, also known as fucking Elvira, sent her to the hospital for stitches after fucking going anal on her. Did you know? And it said she said that fucking Tom Jones was fucking huge. Said that was not a cod piece. That was evidently the real deal.
I've heard that. I lived in Wales for a while, and it's like, man, they still are very excited that Tom Jones is from there.
He was in Mars Attacks too, remember?
Him and Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Yeah.
She's also from Wales. I've actually been to Swansea. That's where she's from. But and yeah, they're all. I remember when, I think one time when I was there, I think it was right around the time when she married Michael. Didn't she marry Michael Douglas? And I remember there being like it was a big fucking deal over there. Like people put out banners of like congratulations, blah blah blah. I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a small country. It's like whenever somebody gets famous from there. I mean, Anthony Hopkins, Sir Anthony Hopkins is from there. So I'm sure they're proud about that. Although I never really heard anybody talking about that.
Yeah, Wales got to be smaller than Mississippi, isn't it?
It's pretty small.
Yeah.
I don't know like offhand. What state it compares to as far as land acreage goes. But yeah, it's fairly small. Zach said, talking about people that thought the bands that would be bigger, said they also brought up the Bay City Rollers a bunch. I think I've heard like one song from them.
Yeah, I only know the title.
I think everybody now just knows, what was that song called? Saturday Night or whatever it was called?
I don't know.
That was them, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Bay
Never
City
heard
Rollers.
of it.
But like, they were kind of big for a minute. I was a kid, but I kind of remember. But so maybe they had more. I don't know. I don't remember because I wasn't really old enough, I guess, to be into that. And it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't really. That wouldn't have been my kind of fucking shit anyway. But so I could see them saying that more than Terrence Trent D'Arby. That seems like really funny.
Yeah.
Because he had like one, maybe two hits. you know?
It's just so funny how much interplay there was between the UK and the Anglo-American, and also just American in general. You know what I mean? Because we know Hispanic Americans fucking love 80s music too. We go to the fucking 80s nights and they're fucking playing Duran and old British New Wave type music, and they eat it up too. They're huge fans of it because they grew up here. And it's just so funny how much how much like common culture there is in terms of just a musical influence and fashion influence. It's amazing. And it was from that era, Generation X.
It is really strange that it's just kind of like there is a particular type of person that liked a particular kind of music in the 80s. Because I was thinking about this today because there's, clubs that play 80s music, and you always kind of have to ask, I'm like, now, is this Debbie Gibson and Phil Collins 80s, or is this like New Order and the Smiths 80s? Because that was two completely different.
Or Journey 80s.
Right,
the American
which I
80s
kind of,
was different too.
So it's just kind of like, so I always kind of have to ask that because I think now that it's so many decades later and people that didn't live through it, they just be like, oh, it's all 80s music, like it's all the same. But we grew up during it and it was absolutely not the same. Like the people that listened... Yeah, the people that listened to like, Debbie Gibson or Hall & Oates or whatever the fuck, those people and the people that listen to like New Order and shit did not hang out.
No.
They did not hang out.
No, but...
They were two completely different types of people.
Early 80s MTV culture was a mixture of British New Wave and then some of the cool shit that was happening in the United States that kind of dovetailed in with it. And then also, Australia also was coming in.
Yeah.
Because you had fucking Olivia Newton-John had a lot of hits during that time that would have dovetailed in with like Hall & Oates and that whole scene was very much
although her thing, she was mostly 70s, I feel like by the time she did that song Physical, right? Which I think was early 80s.
Very early 80s, yeah.
And I think after that point, she
started to go down.
Like, she kind of started to go down. She was more like a 70s thing.
But she did the Xanadu stuff.
I actually kind of like Olivia. I love that Magic song from Xanadu. That's on my Spotify and everything. I love that song.
She was good. She could sing.
I love that song.
But then you also had, during that same time, Linda Ronstadt. Mexican-American pop music that was a very American. You had a lot of really American stuff during the British New Wave that England probably didn't get. And really, it played on MTV, and everybody knew it. Everybody here knew it. And we would associate it from the same era, but they were different scenes.
Yeah.
Like, what was happening with Duran Duran had nothing to do with what was going on with Journey.
No.
Journey was like stadium rock music. They'd fill a fucking stadium. And it was a bunch of long-haired people with mullets. Very fucking... very mainstream. Very mainstream. It was...
Yeah.
Not as cool as the British New Wave. And then the American bands that were kind of like folding in with that. Like Missing Persons and Dale Bozio. Which was it was an American. Actually, Missing Persons was an Italian American new wave band. Those were all Italians.
We had them too.
All Italian Americans. It was great. I had their first two albums. It was a great band. And Lady Gaga ripping them off like crazy. But those she says she's homaging.
Yeah, I don't think she's ever really made a secret about it.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Thanks very much, Sue. Gave us a super chat. Moonshine time. Hello. Ooh, moonshine. We haven't bought any of that in a long time. I really like that Old Smoky moonshine. Like the butter pecan, particularly, is delicious. But it's kind of expensive.
And it's not real moonshine. Real moonshine is fucking so strong you can barely drink it.
But they're not going to sell too much like that. You know what I mean? They got to make it more palatable for mainstream audiences, obviously. But I think they did a good job with that. We got it a few times on the show a long time ago. And all the flavors are good that I've said. Actually, my sister toured the brewery or whatever the hell you call it. The distillery, I guess. And so she got free samples and everything. But all the flavors of theirs I've tried are really good. But like I said, it's a tad pricey, I feel. Because you just get the mason jar size. And that's like $20-something. Whereas you could get like a whole ass big thing of like Svedka vodka for also $20+.
Yeah. So
it goes a lot farther.
Count Orlock said that Lemmy called Little Richard the greatest rock and roll star of all times. I've heard stories about Little Richard from back in the day when he was young, and what he would do is he would be around fucking outside his gigs in the South, you know, in fucking Nashville and shit. You know, he was a Southern, and he would just creep up on the clubs and the crowds before the show in a car. It was blacked out windows, and he would just roll the window down a little bit and talk to people through the little crack in the top of the window, and then leave. He was kind of shy about talking to his fans. Little Richard had huge balls because you could basically, if you knew what you were looking at, you could tell that Little Richard was basically like the world's first openly gay rock entertainer. He was just queer as shit. He couldn't hide it. And I don't really think he did. He just let it roll. And so this was in a time where that was like really taking your life into your hands.
Well, yeah.
By, you know, being publicly gay, basically. Because he was fucking flaming.
And also not white.
Yeah, and he was black, yeah.
So,
but he had a lot of white fans. I think most of his fans were white. Although, you know, black people listen to that music too in the South. It just, he was great. He put on a good show. He had balls.
Carlos Leather, hey, how you doing, man? I haven't heard from you in a while. 80s was the last real varied era, really. Yeah, it did seem like that. Like, I don't want to get into a thing where I just kind of think that, because there's a lot of really good music now, too. It's just that it's a lot harder to find because there's like so much stuff you have to dig through. Zach also says, I was looking at a list of the top albums on Billboard, and so many of them I've legit never heard of the artist, even if they were the bestseller of the year. I don't get why that is. Now I'm kind of curious to like look that up because, yeah, like a lot of them might have just been kind of flash in the pan and, you know, where everybody thought.
It's so funny how all these young people are fucking jonesing for the old shit. I just saw a video today, and that people in Hollywood were doing, it was one of the media people, I forgot what paper it was doing research on what Gen Z is watching on television. And they're watching old 70s to 90s programs that their parents watched. Like they're watching MASH. And they're watching Star Trek The Next Generation. And
MASH was a good-ass show.
And Star Trek The Original Series. They're watching that.
That is also a good-ass
And they're
show.
watching Gilmore Girls and Friends. They're watching...
All right, I'm not a fan of that, but you know.
Well, it's
but
because
okay, fair enough.
It's because they're all nostalgic for a time that they didn't live in.
Yeah.
And it's because it's comforting. That a lot of that media was very comforting. Some of that shit, the format is in that 30-minute commercial television format. It drives me crazy. I can't watch it anymore, but because it's timed for commercials and shit, and it's just annoying. But young people like it. And they like the music because it's written by people. It's not AI algorithms, and it's about real life. There was a girl who started subscribing to us, and she was a teenager at the time she started listening to the show. She lived out in California, and she was taking a lot of our stuff for a lot of our advice and was listening to music we were talking about. She sent me a message. This is years back now. She said, "Oh my God, that band you guys were talking about, Blondie, that shit is fucking awesome." She lived out in California, you know. She lived where I grew up in near Carson. And she goes, "The lyrics, they're like, you can understand them." And I says, "Yeah, it's about being a normal, poor kid." You know what I mean? And meet me by the turnstiles, beat feet, you know, all kinds of shit, you know. Because it's very relatable music. It's very folk in the way of, like, they're talking about the way people really live. It's not some... And they're romanticizing that. Romanticizing about being poor and young.
There's something...
And being in love with somebody and it's not working out. You know, she's just blown away by it.
There's something of a... I think the reason why maybe, like, a lot of people that didn't live through the 80s are still listening to 80s music, there's something of, like, a wistful quality about it that I think you don't really get much anymore. Except in sort of like genre type music.
Yeah.
But it was kind of slightly mainstream more back then.
Yeah.
And it was kind of a lot more genuine, I guess. There was shitty pop music back then too. There's always shitty pop.
It's all fallen
but
away.
a lot of that has been kind of forgotten.
Yeah.
You know, only the good shit has kind of stuck around this long.
Yeah. You know what she said? She says, "I really love that song Atomic When
That's
she
a
said,
great song.
When she says your hair is beautiful, she goes, I know that feeling. Yeah. Your hair is beautiful.
That's a great song.
Oh, tonight,
he plays that at the club sometimes.
Yeah. Your hair is beautiful.
Barbarella.
Yeah.
Man, I'm out of my drink is empty.
I'll get you one.
I got my little shining cup today. And the sad reason is because I had like a big ass jar I was drinking out of, and I took it downstairs because we ate downstairs for Thanksgiving, and then I forgot to bring it upstairs, and my ass was too lazy to go all the way downstairs and get it. So I just started drinking out of my plastic shining cup that I bought at Spirit Halloween many years ago. But yeah, that's really now I kind of want to go look at the Billboard charts and see. I'll probably remember most of it because I was around then, and I always had music on. I was at MTV on or the radio or whatever. So it's like, so I heard a lot of that shit. So I would probably remember a lot of it, but maybe not from the 70s, like mid 70s, because I was around, but I was just like a kid, you know what I mean? Although my dad used to play a lot of music in the house, so I would probably remember a lot of it because he had about a bajillion albums, and he was always like making mixes and playing shit in the house and everything like that. So I would probably remember. Grampter says Xanadu had the actor who was also in The Warriors, perhaps the most underrated movie of the 80s. Debate and discuss. I remember liking The Warriors, but I haven't seen it in such a long time. I don't think... Did we review it? Somebody check. Did we review The Warriors?
No. I haven't seen that forever.
I was saying, I remember it being kind of fun. like in a sort of cheese ball kind of way. But I haven't seen it in forever. Because just the idea of, like, tough street gangs, like, all dressing alike, and, I mean, other than the obvious exception of A Clockwork Orange, where that gang was kind of terrifying. But, you know, where they just all have these little factions, and they all said, well, we're, like, they're coordinating their outfits and stuff like that, and they all had themes, and I was just like, okay. So, like, that's just inherently not scary to me. And, you know, and not tough. So, I don't know. A lot of 80s movies were like that, though. That I kind of cracked up that it's, like, all these gangs, and it's like, they all... Like, you guys all called each other and coordinated your outfits. Come on, how tough can you be? Let's see. Yeah, let me see. I saw something up here. Oh, yeah. I had forgotten all about this. Well, Hello says, remember when Little Richard claimed he was no longer gay and became super religious, it didn't stick. It never does. You know what I mean? And it's kind of sad that they even feel they have to do that, but I do vaguely remember that now that you brought it up. Carlos says, as the Beach Boys, how big a Little Richard fan they are. Okay, yeah. Yeah, Haida says the British made a word for that, hauntology. Yeah, I've heard that term before, actually. The nostalgic yearning for a time you didn't live in or never happened. Yeah, I think a lot of people have that feeling. You know what I mean? It's like every now and then I'll hear music or see a movie or something from before I was born, like from the 40s or something like that. And yeah, you'll kind of feel a weird kind of thing like, oh, you know.
I forgot to put my wash in the dryer.
Oh, okay.
Let me transfer it in the dryer for tomorrow.
Okay.
I better say.
Where is, I saw something else that is wanted to comment on. Oh, Count Orlock saying Arena Rock. Yeah, Styx, Journey, Loverboy, Boston, Night Ranger, REA Speedwagon. Yeah, and honestly, MTV played a lot of that in the old days too. I kind of feel like MTV gets credit, I mean rightly so, for introducing new wave to the US. But a lot of their shit was that kind of stuff too, you know, so it's probably about half and half was what I'm remembering. I just remember the stuff that I liked, and I didn't really like any of that. But like I said, I always had MTV on, so I still kind of remember all the words and all that other kind of stuff. Okay, so Zach says, oh, here's an example, and I'm already going to say I know exactly who you're talking about. So 1982 best-selling album of the year is called Asia from a band of the same name. Can't tell you a damn thing about it. Yeah, I remember that. That was actually very, very big. I don't know. They were around a while. Yeah, they were, yeah, I just said I remember them. I think they were a prog band. Yeah, they were kind of prog rocky. Was that the album that had Heat of the Moment on it, maybe, and I didn't have the album, but they played the singles from it a lot. Was that them? I feel like that was them. Somebody please correct me if I'm wrong. It's like, it was a long time ago. I was 10. Didn't Asia do Heat of the Moment?
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, because that's what Zach was talking about in '82. Like, the best-selling album was Asia, and I said, yeah, they were actually real big back then. But they were like prog rock.
Yeah, it was like American prog rock, wasn't it? American?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I know they did Heat of the Moment, and then there was another really big single.
Yeah.
From that. Shit, man, what was the name of it? Fuck. It was a really famous song. It was a really popular song. Even if I thought of it and started singing it, most people would recognize it. But I can't remember what it's called right now. I'll remember it in a minute. I'm already kind of drunk. But yeah, I just said I remember them. I think they were a prog band and they were very boring. Yeah, I mean, they were just very...
Who, Asia?
Yeah.
No, they were very slick, very well produced. They were designed for airplay in the American market.
Yeah. Oh, when I was gonna say that song Africa, but that was Toto.
That was Toto.
That was Toto. Yeah, I got
a lot of bands that were big during that time were very vanilla.
Yeah.
They weren't bad.
It's like dad rock.
It was like, well, yeah, your dad was getting jamming to that shit. They weren't bad. They were just very acceptable. And there was a snootiness to prog rock where things they were all about perfection. Musical perfection, really highly produced. And they had really memorable choruses. I wouldn't say it was bad music. It's just that it was commercial music of the time, and it appealed to a boomer audience. And when you're young Gen X, 13, 14, you can listen to that, but it's kind of going over your head. It's not really for you. It's for people that are in their 30s and you're in your teens. And that's like the old people. So I hear that shit now, and I can place it. I can remember when I was hearing it. There's a certain amount of nostalgia to it, but that wasn't aimed at me. What was aimed more at me would have been, what would be more directly aimed at me would have been The Cure, Duran, Billy Idol. That was more aimed at our generation.
Yeah, I mean, by the time '82 rolled around, I know Asia because they played a lot of their stuff. Yeah. But by the time '82 was there, I was already listening to that was the year Rio, the Duran album came out.
Yeah. And that was aimed at a much more younger crowd that was up and coming.
And
now being overproduced and slick, that's not a deal breaker because you couldn't be any slicker than Duran. All right, and they were highly produced. Even their first album was extremely slick. Their second album, which was Rio, was like a Patrick Nagel, and there's a Patrick Nagel on the fucking cover of that. It was just 80s as fuck. 80s crystallized into something. And it was a futuristic 80s.
But that's still a good-ass album. Every single song on that album is good. Every single one.
They're trying to that album basically says, fuck all that shit that came before us. We're rebooting everything. This is fucking the future. It was very optimistic. And I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that in the first album, the guys are fresh from England. They're new romantics. They're wearing new romantic clothing, which is kind of like an offshoot of goth. In the second one, they're in America now. They're on yachts. They're drinking champagne. They got these fucking hot mixed race ass fucking supermodels with them from South America. It's that kind of shit.
Yeah, it's like
they're on sailboats now.
We're vacationing on Montserrat.
That's right.
On our
they
yachts.
got fucking glasses of champaign. So
with white sport jackets with no shirt on.
Exactly, and purple and hot pink suits and shit, snorting cocaine. They're just not. They're not the same dudes from England anymore. They're now in the center of the global market, and they are fucking opulent. and they are fucking not hiding wealth. They're magnifying
it's
it.
like lifestyles of the rich and famous.
They're like, fucking, look at, we made it. Look at how glamorous this shit is. And even when they're fucking in the Hungry Like the Wolf album, when they show them with fucking in the jungle with some hot fucking South American chick, they're chasing them and shit with elephants and crap. It's shot as if it's Indiana Jones. Everything was super glamorized.
He even had a hat like Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Like that fedora thing. I don't think it's a fedora technically.
And it was spot on. That's exactly what was needed at that time. And everybody felt it. They're like, yeah, that shit is so cool, you know. And they were on point for many, many years.
I mean, they were fucking massive.
Yeah,
it's hard to overstate.
Hard to overstate
how fucking massive.
I mean, to America and to our generation, they were basically the Beatles.
Yeah, and they got that comparison back then.
Yeah, they're like the Beatles. Yeah.
Because it was the same kind of shit. They'd show up at the airport for the show and there'd be like 50,000 like screaming girls and all this other kind of shit. So it was like just like the Beatles except in the 80s.
Yeah, and they were all young, good-looking British guys from the ghetto, but they just had great genetics. All right, they all looked like models.
Yeah.
And
that was just kind of
girls were fucking
lucky, you know what I mean? It's just there wasn't an ugly one among them.
No. No, and they had people counseling them on style and fashion, even though they knew their shit too. But they were showing them, hey, this is how the look should go. People helping them perfect their songs. Really good producers fucking doing the mixes. If you don't believe me, on YouTube now, they have uploaded all of their demos from the early rough drafts of all their famous songs. And you can see how their ideas started. Like, for instance, the hit "The View to a Kill," they did that as for a James Bond theme.
That's for a James Bond theme.
Yeah, the original, you hear it and you go, yeah, that's kind of good, but not really.
I mean, when you hear the one that they actually used for the movie, it's
when you hear the one you hear,
it's like
oh,
a
that's a
lot
lot better. Yeah, so they had people helping them.
Yeah,
because this was in a time in when record studios and producers made hundreds of millions of dollars. These were fucking huge. This was like the space program. They didn't leave anything to chance when they were worth that much. So they were carefully groomed into they were carefully manicured into a fucking outstanding product.
Didn't always work, I'll note.
No.
Sometimes it blew up in their face.
And you could tell, well, it was all good up until their last good album was Big Thing.
Which I only liked about half of.
Yeah.
I think that was the last album of theirs that I bought.
I got Medazitland because it had Electric Barbarella.
That's a good song.
Yeah. The thing is those, as it went, when they kind of lost their support, it's because they kind of fell out of favor. The music had moved on. When they started to lose that big support apparatus, it had to go back to what they could produce and their circle of friends, which was a pretty good albums. But it wasn't like every song was a hit. It wasn't like that.
Yeah, because like I said, if you listen to Rio,
every song's a hit.
Every song is good.
Yeah.
Any song off of that could have been a single.
Yeah. And I really liked Notorious. I think that's my favorite album.
They had a bunch of hits off that too. That was 87.
Yeah, and that was probably their last great album. A lot of people didn't like it. I loved it.
I didn't like it as much when it first came out, but it grew on me over the years.
Yeah, it had a brass section.
It was kind of real. It was more like jazzy.
It had a jazzy
and kind of a funk kind of thing to it.
I liked
it. Some of their older shit had that too,
Yeah.
but it was a lot more pronounced like on that one.
They're a great band. If they don't go down in history, I don't understand it.
I will note though that they were. I mean, I even really liked, when they split in the mid '80s, and Simon and Nick and Roger did Arcadia, and they put out that one album, So Red the Rose, and that is a great fucking album.
Yeah,
it's kind of prog rocky, but it's like experimental. Like I think David Gilmour worked on it. Sting was on it.
It's goth.
Yeah, it's almost like a straight up goth album.
Yeah, and that's So Red the Rose. That's their side project. Arcadia.
Yeah, that was 85.
Yeah, really good.
I really liked that.
The other
album.
Side project was Power Station. That's pretty good.
Which was just kind of like a straight up just a rock and roll
band.
Which that's fine too.
with Palmer. Robert Palmer was.
Robert Palmer
was the vocalist in it.
Michael DeBar was the first singer.
Yeah.
But then he either left or did he die? I thought
know.
he died. But then they got Robert Palmer. That was John Taylor.
Yeah.
And Andy Taylor, that's the guitarist and the bassist.
Power Station was pretty good too.
They wanted to do like just a more straight up rock and roll thing, which like I said, fair enough. Whereas the other three wanted to go kind of more arty farty, which is kind of more what I like.
Yeah.
So I was way more into Arcadia than Power Station.
If you don't know Duran, if in my opinion, and I know pretty much all their albums, their best album was a live album called Arena.
Yeah,
I fucking loved that.
That was '84.
And it's because on Arena, it has a lot of the stuff off of Rio. It has a lot of stuff off of fucking the very first one had Planet Earth. It had a couple of EPs on it that weren't live. And new stuff that was coming, like fucking Wild Boys was on.
Wild Boys, the single.
But the live performance on there, you get a little bit of a harder edge to Duran. Because it's not as polished, but man, they sound so fucking good.
They sounded really good live.
They sound really good live, yeah.
They really would. I mean, they could actually play and they could actually sing. So
yeah, and there was something about Duran with a little bit of imperfection in it that kind of accentuated it. Like, these guys are fucking really good.
Yeah. I don't know. I was always just really into them.
Yeah.
And like I said, they're probably, in the 80s, probably the most mainstream band that I like. Because they were actually very popular.
Fucking mainstream as fuck.
They were.
They were a masterpiece, though.
But they had their own shit going on. I mean, I would not say that all of their big hits from the 80s, that didn't really sound like some of the other pop music from the time. It had its own personality.
Well, what I liked about them is that they were mainstream as fuck, but they had street cred.
Yeah.
They had every bit this amount of street cred as fucking the Sex Pistols. Maybe more, because they played in the club.
Probably more, because the Sex Pistols were slightly manufactured.
Yeah, and the Sex Pistols didn't do a lot of fucking club work. They didn't do a lot of shows before they broke up.
Yeah.
Fucking
they weren't
Duran was doing shows in their neighborhood for a long time before they ever got famous. And then they toured constantly. And they were a great band. And they were from club scenesters. They weren't just random studio musicians hired to do it.
It's like, hey, you guys
came from the club. They came from the
scene.
Yeah.
And what maybe a lot of people don't know is that the original singer of Duran was named Stephen Duffy.
Yeah.
And he actually went on to do his own shit as Tintin.
Tintin. Good man.
And they didn't, I think really they only had one hit over here, which was Kiss Me. Yeah. I think he had a lot more hits in the UK. But that Stephen Duffy song still gets played at Barbarella.
Yeah, they're good. Yeah, he's good too.
All the time.
And I could hear his voice with Duran music, those songs, and it would work. It was similar to Simon Le Bon.
Yeah. Simon doesn't have a great voice, particularly in the higher ranges, but it's a very distinctive voice.
Distinctive. It's great.
Like I said, and I'm always more an advocate of having a distinctive voice rather than like a classically good voice.
It's hard for me to imagine Duran without his voice.
I can't really. Yeah. It's just kind of like... And, and it's kind of shitty because, like, a lot of times, maybe not a lot of times, but sometimes, like, when the singer is sometimes not the person that writes the music, or sometimes that's the musicians, you know what I mean? Like, obviously. And so sometimes when the singer leaves or something, like, the band is like, oh, we'll just get a new singer, and it hardly ever works out. Because the thing about it is that even if the singer is not the one that's involved in making the music directly, he's the face of the band, like it or not, and he's the voice of the band, even if he didn't write the lyrics. So when he leaves, that would be like... Because I kind of feel like, okay, here's a good example if you're old like we are. Echo and the Bunnymen. For a little while, Ian McCulloch left, and they got another singer. The singer was fine. They released, I think, maybe if I'm remembering correctly, it's been a long time, I think they released one album with that, and then Ian McCulloch kind of released his solo album, which was called Candleland, which was actually quite good. But it wasn't really sustainable because the thing about Echo and the Bunnymen is that Ian McCulloch has such a distinctive voice, and it's such a part of that band that you can't really replace it.
Yeah.
I mean, you would have to like just start a new ass band, and I mean, you would have to do what New Order did. New Order was Joy Division.
Yeah.
Ian Curtis hanged himself.
Yeah.
And they all stayed together, but changed their name.
New Order.
To New Order.
Which is a great band, too.
And they are great, too.
Now Carlos is asking okay, Duran, is their greatest song fucking Ordinary World? It says, that's a good song, I like it. But that's not their... That's
not even in my top 20.
That's not even, not even. I would say their number one song, their best song, is off the first album. It's called Friends of Mine.
That's a great song.
Yeah, Friends of Mine.
I love that first album. Those first two albums are just perfect. I love every single song.
And then after that, I would, on that same album, the same first album would be the Night Boat.
God, I love Night Boat.
Yeah, Night Boat.
That had a great creepy video,
They're very dark songs.
It's kind of like a zombie movie.
Yeah. Now, after that, I would say something, their best song would probably be, after that, I'm going to say, in terms of like pop song, would be New Moon on Monday. I fucking love that song.
New Moon on Monday, Union of the Snake.
Union of the Snake.
Is There Something I Should Know?
Yeah.
The Reflex.
Yeah.
So many.
There's so
I
many
liked a lot of their fucking B-sides, too. Like,
yeah.
Secret October was great.
Yeah.
That's probably my favorite B-side of theirs. I think it was the B-side of Union of the Snake, if I remember correctly.
If you only know Ordinary World, you need to get on Duran Duran. Get their very first album. It's just called Duran Duran.
The first two, I think, are the best ones. With the first one's just called Duran Duran. The second one is called Rio. They had a third one that was called Seven and the Ragged Tiger, which
I liked it.
I haven't listened to the whole thing straight through like in a long time, but most of the songs on that are good. After that, then there was Arena. That was the live one that had Wild Boys on it.
Great album.
And Wild Boys is a great song.
If I could only have one album, it would be that one.
I love that fucking. Well, yeah, it's a good. Yeah.
And then Notorious.
And then Notorious.
And Notorious,
that came out
some of the band is left by that time.
It's a 3-piece.
I love the Notorious album. It's rock and jazz and pop.
Yeah, it has like a brass section and it's like a lot more
really
funky,
good.
You know.
And Miguel Presidente is on that. Fucking Notorious is on it. What was the one? November Marches On. Fucking great song.
Winter Marches
On. That's right. Yeah. Winter Marches On.
You're probably thinking of November Spawned a Monster.
November Spawned a Monster.
That's a Morrissey song.
Yeah, Morrissey song. Winter Marches On.
That's a great song. It's beautiful.
But if you've never heard a Duran album, get Arena. It's live.
Although I would say get Rio, but
Rio is good. But you got to. But the thing is, though, is if you were to only listen to Rio, it's kind of out of context because you don't know where it came from and where it was going to go.
Well, like I said, I think the first two are the best ones. Those are the ones I listen to still, like most frequently.
Rio, every song on Rio is good.
Every song on Rio is good.
But it's very slick, very overproduced, extremely
Which
commercial.
I normally wouldn't like.
But that was their style.
But yeah.
Part of their style from some of their albums was to be totally commercial and slick and overproduced. But by the time you got to Notorious, it was a little rougher now. And it's a different band by that point. It's just you had to be a fan and go through the changes. And when I first heard Duran Duran, I liked him. I was a kid in military school. And then when I started getting into metal, I decided that I don't like that fucking soft ass fucking Duran Duran shit. But by the time I was
girls.
That's for girls. By the time I was a high school fucking junior on my way to fucking becoming a senior, I was like, oh no, this is where it's at. This shit here is about girls. It's about girls, hookers, blow. It's about money. It's about being fucked over. It's Duran. Those dudes, even though, because this is the funny thing, even though they had a very mainstream sound, what they were talking about was fucking filthy. A lot of times. It was subversive.
They just
kind of talking about hookers.
Couched it in.
They couched it in shit. Yeah.
Interesting language.
Yeah.
So it wasn't super clear.
Yeah. Wasn't real clear what they were talking about, but
it's kind of impressionist.
Yeah. By the time you went to Notorious, it was obvious what they were talking about.
Yeah, I mean Notorious, it was pretty obvious what they were talking about. But like I said, like
you're here for the skin trade.
Yeah. The earlier shit wasn't quite like that.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean. Because by the time Ordinary World and all that had come out, I had like lost interest in them. So it's, you know, I didn't buy that or anything like that. Because I thought, oh, it's mom music or whatever. Because I really liked their old shit, and I still do. Like, I have a bunch of Duran Duran, like, on my Spotify. But most of it is from the first 2 albums and Notorious, because I know Tom really, that's his favorite album. So I have, like, a bunch of that on there. I have some Arcadia shit. I have some from Seven and the Ragged Tiger.
Yeah.
But not a lot. I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, God, I haven't listened to that whole album straight through in a long time. Like, the first album and Rio, I listened to straight through, like, all the time. Yeah. But the third one, I just haven't done that in a while. And I was like, I remember that album being really good. Like, I bought it when it came out in 83 or whatever it was. And I used to listen to it all the time. But for some reason, the first 2 are the ones that have stuck with me the longest. And the first 2, I would argue, every single song on their first 2 albums is good.
Yeah.
And all the B-sides were good. Like, the first album, and if you buy the first album, I bought it on CD, like, years ago, and they had re-engineered it, and they put all the B-sides on it, like, as extras. So it had fucking Late Bar, it had their cover of Fame, the David Bowie song, Faster Than Light. Like, it had, like, all these really great fucking B-sides that they had on there.
High Desert saying, he asked, wasn't Arena also a movie? It wasn't a movie. Arena
it was a concert film.
It was a VHS. On VHS.
Yeah, I had it.
You could get a film of the concert.
I had it.
Same album.
I had that, and I had the tape that had all their other videos on it, including the filthy version of Girls on Film.
The X-rated version of Girls on Film.
Version that they couldn't
Which
show on MTV.
Which they play at the club we go to.
They do actually play that.
Yeah.
He didn't for a while. And then, because remember when Barbarella was downtown, and they would show Girls on Film, and I was just kind of like, he'd show the MTV version, and I'm like, why don't you just play the real version?
Yeah,
it's
everyone's
like
adult here.
Everyone's adults.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Yeah, the funny thing about John is he's always had like a layer of conservatism. He's afraid of getting in trouble. I'm like, man, fuck that shit. Nobody's gonna complain, man. Put the titties up there.
You have to be 18 to even get in here.
You had to be 18 to get in there.
It's not like there's children present.
You could play porn there.
Yeah, it's like nobody would care.
Yeah, and it's not explicit. It's just
not really. It's, you know what I mean.
Just nude girls fucking wrestling on fucking gymnast bars.
Going down like a pole with shaving cream on it. Yeah, mud wrestling.
I think there's a
riding a black man that's dressed like a horse.
Yeah, exactly. I think there's an R-rated version of The Chauffeur too, isn't there?
Yes. Yeah, I had that also. Like The Chauffeur, another great fucking song. That was off of Rio. Also, there's a great fucking cover of it by a band called Sleep Thief. They do like a really fucking good cover of that song.
Female vocals do.
But it was black and white, the original Duran Duran video, and it was topless. It was like the girl that was dressed like the chauffeur, and she had her top off and was dancing and stuff, and she was like kind of flat chested. Very flat chested. I'm not gonna lie, but you know what I mean. It was a look. She was very she was like a ballet dancer type of thing. So they like to put naked girls in their videos, and, you know, no one really had a problem with it, to be honest. So, but like I said, they couldn't show it on MTV. So the Girls on Film video that they showed on MTV was very, very censored. But if you bought the videotape that I had, it had the full version on there, which was much longer. The song was much longer. And because the album version of Girls on Film is a lot longer than the single version is. And it's better, in my opinion. It has like a couple extra verses in there that aren't in the radio version. So, yeah. I feel like John, the guy that runs Barbarella and DJs, he plays Girls on Film like a lot. I think he plays not a lot of Duran Duran, but he does play some Duran Duran. I feel like Girls on Film is the one he plays the most often, because that seems to be the one that, you know, is the most popular, I suppose. Although, I think I'm going to take that back. I think the one that he plays most often is Planet Earth, for sure. I think Planet Earth is one, and then Girls on Film is second, and then every now and then he'll play New Moon on Monday, or Union of the Snake. I've requested "Is There Something I Should Know" a few times.
He plays Wild Boys.
He doesn't
too.
like that song,
Yeah.
so he doesn't play it as much. But I really like that song. He
What
plays "Is There Something I Should Know."
Yeah, yeah.
And Wild Boys. Actually, I think he played Wild Boys last time we went there. That it was the '80s night.
Yeah.
Because I think that was the first song that got me on the floor. I was like, "Oh
Yeah.
fuck yeah!" You know what I
It's
mean?
becoming a show about Duran, but you guys are all responding to it, so fine, whatever. Duran was one of the few extremely mainstream bands that goth people liked.
Yeah. And you weren't like embarrassed to say that you liked them. Like it wasn't a guilty pleasure.
Right.
Everybody
Now,
was like,
what
yeah.
about The Cure? But the thing
band.
is The Cure wasn't mainstream really. It had some
Not
mainstream
back
songs.
then.
It was more like a goth band.
I feel like they didn't really go mainstream until the 90s.
Yeah.
I could be misremembering that, but that's how I remember it.
But now Duran would be accepted in any goth club at the right time if you knew how to play it right. Fucking.
And like I said,
most goth people know who that is, and part of it had to do with because they had cred. They had street cred.
And some of their songs like sounded kind of gothy.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought, or had that kind of dark vibe to them. So it's like
they
you could
started
totally
off
get
as
away
New
with.
Romantics, which was the sister movement.
And that
goth.
spawned some bands that a lot of
Right.
goth people listen to, like Visage and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So which they also still play in goth clubs nowadays. So
Visage, good. Yeah.
they came from that same scene. So I don't think anybody was offended just because they were popular because they were super
something I should know
popular.
is what benefit. Yeah, Assumption on. That's
Yeah,
good.
I love that song.
Yeah.
Honestly, like all of their early shit, like I can't think of a single
He's
song
asking
that came out.
He's
back
asking if we heard their Duran's version of Paint It Black. I don't think I have. I'll look for it. I have heard their version of what's the song?
I know they did a version of 911 as a joke.
The one their version of Venus and Furs. I've heard.
Yeah,
I've heard their
yeah,
version
yeah.
of what was the one that fucking
'Cause
girl
they
from the Velvet Underground sang. The chick
Was it Femme Fatale?
Femme Fatale, yeah.
Yeah.
She's a femme fatale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
REM did a cover of that
Yeah, yeah.
too, which was actually
Femme
pretty
fatale.
good. A lot of people have covered. Holy
Yeah,
crap!
yeah.
So many people have covered the Velvet.
Yeah,
Underground.
that's
It's,
much
like,
later
not
though.
even funny.
That's a much later Duran song.
Well, they had a whole
Yeah.
album.
of covers.
I think it was called. Wasn't it called "Thank You" or was it?
Yeah.
I think or something like that. And it was all covers.
Yeah, Nico sang Femme Fatale.
Yes.
But Duran does a cover and it's good. There's
Yeah.
a video for it on YouTube. It's good. It's a good cover.
Like I said, a lot of people have
Yeah,
covered.
yeah.
Because I had a thing that had a REM version of Femme Fatale on that.
SideQuest here. What's up, SideQuest? How you been?
Hey, what's up?
We're talking about Duran and fucking
Just music.
the
in
greatness
general.
of 80s new wave music and the British new wave. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Hello There says Duran had such great
Yeah, you
hooks.
can tag me in it. Go ahead and tag me in it.
Yeah.
I'll let's do it.
In their choruses, the verses in the Reflex and New Men on Monday are okay,
Yeah.
but the choruses are pure ear candy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I will note that the Reflex, which he plays every now and then, is a great song to dance to.
Thanks,
It's a great
Skeletor.
one.
Who's Skeletor?
Thank you very much, Skeletor sent us.
That's a new one. Skeletor sent us $10. I don't remember Skeletor.
I don't remember seeing Skeletor.
Must be a new name.
That's a great name, though.
Yeah.
High Desert says, in the 90s, I never heard Duran in a goth club, but then the DC scene was very snooty.
No, they wouldn't have played that in the 90s.
Probably not.
No.
Because I feel like in the 90s, there was still kind of this thing where it's like, well, we have to be very...
Right.
Like it
They
was,
wouldn't play that in the goth club now. But all those goth kids of our generation know all those songs. They had
Yeah.
those albums at home.
Yeah.
Just like they had Morrissey albums.
Yeah.
And
Even
Cure albums.
though Morrissey and the Smiths aren't.
Yeah, even though Morrissey and Smiths
you
are
could
not.
still argue that the Cure is pretty goth. At least their old shit was.
Yeah. They never play anything off of fucking pornography, though.
They never do.
That was
Isn't
the
that
goth
stupid?
shit. Yeah.
Even though that's like one of the gothiest
Yeah.
albums ever made. You know, and even, I mean, to be
Yeah.
fair, like the night we go to, which is mostly an 80s night, but it's 80s new wave, you know what I mean? They play The Cure, but they'll usually play like In Between Days or Boys Don't Cry or The Love Cats or something like around that time period, you know what I mean? And now when we do the goth night Memento Mori, Dimitri will usually he'll play Burn sometimes, that Cure song. He plays that a lot. But he usually plays it like early in the night before people get there.
All right, I got it, Todd. Thanks, man. I'll listen to it a bit. You You sent me the link to.
Yeah, I've been watching you guys for like 8+ years now, since before the live streams. And never comment. Jenny, I love you, and Tom, you're a sexy motherfucker.
Thank you, bitch.
Never stop. Thank you, bro.
bitch.
We'll try not to.
Thank you, bitch.
We don't see any reason to at this point. We're having a good time. SideQuest says, just dropping in, really tired, worked over 100 hours this pay period. Jesus Christ. For the holiday, I'll probably leave before I fall asleep listening. Oh yeah, get some rest. Holy crap. Yeah, I kind of tried to work my ass off like the first 3 days of the week, because I'm like, I want everything done so nobody will bother me, like on Thursday and Friday. It's not like the main guy I work for. I mean, he's like, yeah, I'm doing Thanksgiving shit too, so he didn't, bother me. But I have had last year, for example, when you freelance, that's kind of the shitty... Well, there's two shitty things about freelancing. One is that it's hard to get pay out of some people, which is always kind of a nightmare. But two, you can't ever really fully take a day off, because you never really know when somebody's going to come at you with something. At this point, most people know that it's like, if you message me on weekends, I'm not going to answer it. You know what I mean? Because fuck off. But last year, one of my clients, who I am not going to name because I really do not like him, and I only get stuff from him every now and then, he sent me a message on fucking Thanksgiving Day. Oh, hey, are you working today? I need this, that, and the other thing. I was just kind of like, nope, I'm going to pretend I didn't see that. It's fucking Thanksgiving, bitch. Piss off. You know what I mean? I was so mad.
High Desert says, in the 90s, never heard Duran play at a goth club, a goth scene. And then somebody said, it was very snooty, but somebody said, Count Orlock, yeah, he said, Tom, I think Man Ray would play X-rated videos for the girls on films back in the 90s.
Yeah.
I don't know if you were related, if you know me from those days, but I think you're right. I think I do remember seeing that video being played at Man Ray.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure that was on the goth night, though. I think that was on the fetish night.
Yeah, I could see that.
I think that was on the fetish night they played that. Do I know you from there? Fuck, I don't know your real name. I just know. But yeah, I might know you from that old club. I love that club. It's long gone now, though.
Because probably they would also play the X-rated version of the Sex Dwarf video.
I haven't seen that.
That soft sell.
The fetish night, which which I think was Friday. It was either Friday or Saturday. I think fetish was Saturday, and it's been so long now, 90s. And I do remember seeing them play Girls on Film, the X-rated version.
Yeah. And I was like that video.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun.
I saw Switchblade Symphony there live before I really even knew who that was. And I heard their fucking... Oh, they're the ones that do that song?
Yeah.
Because that was like 95, 96.
Yeah, they were really kind of a big thing in the goth scene. Yeah. They never broke into the mainstream or anything like that.
And they were a band that probably could have.
They probably could have.
It just never really happened for them.
I'm not sure. Could they have? I'm not... They
that last
They
song,
might be too weird. I'm not sure.
That last album was Trip Hop. Bread and Jam from Francis.
Yeah, that's true. They did kind of go more trip hop.
And I love that album.
I
liked all their shit. But I was like, this band sounds kind of familiar. And then all of a sudden they're playing, so, oh, they're the ones that do this one? Oh, okay, yeah. She's up there in her little Bo Peep outfit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Well, Hello There says 1992 was such a crazy year for music. Yeah, I remember. I remember MTV's Most Wanted videos would include songs by Nirvana and Pearl Jam, but also Def Leppard and Mr. Big. Such a transitional time. Yeah, and like I said, people that didn't live through that time period might think, well, what's the diff, like, between those two things? But people that grew up during that time period, is like, the same people did not listen to that.
Yeah.
Not that I knew of.
He answered. Ken Orlock answered. Read it.
Tom, you're correct. It probably was on the fetish night. We might have crossed paths there.
Yeah.
I wish I could just change my profile name to my real name, which is Todd.
Todd, yeah. If I'd seen pictures of you from back in the days, I maybe would have recognized you.
Yeah.
I had hair back then. I had a long frock coat, black. Looked like a Dracula. Looked like a vampire.
I don't know why, but it always makes me laugh when somebody says a Dracula.
Look like a Dracula.
Like there's more than one Dracula.
There's more than one Dracula.
And I'm just
there is more than one Dracula.
I'm just one of the Dracula.
Look at all the damn Dracula movies. There's more than one Dracula. I was just,
I don't know why that makes you laugh so much.
Look like a Dracula.
That just amuses the shit out of me. Whenever it says, "Are you a Dracula?"
In those days,
not like the Dracula.
In those days, it was hot to look like something out of Interview with the Vampire.
Well, yeah, that was very.
That's how we did it. Yeah.
That was very big.
I had fangs and everything.
like I said, you could still do that now, to an extent. Like as long as you weren't too stupid and try hard about it.
I had hair too. Yeah, I had hair. I had beautiful brown hair with red highlights. A lot of times dyed black though.
Yeah, when I met you, you had black hair.
Yeah.
Short, but it was just kind of like, it was sort of long in the front, like you had kind of swept over like that, but it was kind of short, like everywhere. What do they call that? That's a thing. That's a haircut.
What's it called?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to remember.
Describe it again. I forgot.
Where it was like super short on the sides and then sort of slightly longer on the top with like the kind of bangs that you had over like that. Like you had.
Like I had, yeah.
Yeah, like you had.
My shit was just parted on the side.
It was just hair.
Just hair.
But there's
I have a name for it.
There's kind of a name for that haircut. I just can't think of what it is. But when I met you, you had that. And then after we'd started hanging out a while, I remember you bleached it white. Yeah. Which I like that too, but I think I liked the black hair slightly better.
Yeah,
but some people like the white hair, some people like the black hair.
Yeah, some people say, I miss you with your fucking blonde hair, your white hair. I said, yeah, but you know.
It's probably people that met you when you had the white hair because they're just like used to you.
Yeah, and I was in my late 30s then. I still had pretty good quality hair. By the time late 40s started to roll around, I didn't have bald spots or anything. It's just that you could tell it was getting thin and shit. You're just like, the quality of a man's hair starts to fucking go downhill with all the damn hormone changes. And then I started bumping a shit ton of testosterone. I don't even know if I have hair or not. I probably don't. It feels like I have. But I shave it.
Well, you have hair everywhere other than your head.
I have hair on my back. I have hair everywhere. It's all black hair everywhere. I'm constantly clipping, using clippers and shit.
Yeah, you gotta clip it all.
But I don't know if I have any hair on my head. I haven't let it grow out.
Now I'm kind of curious. And
it was probably white.
Probably.
My beard's actually white.
Yeah, I imagine if I grew my hair out now, it would probably be mostly gray. Although, like I said, my hair naturally is red, but it's probably gray at this point. Maybe not completely, but
I'm pushing 60. I can't believe it, but because they didn't have.
I didn't think I was gonna live this long. To be honest with you. I mean, if I thought about it at all, which I really didn't, but.
You remember that Wilford Brumley motherfucker with the fucking mustache? With diabetes and all that shit.
Wilford Diabetes.
Yeah, when he was in Cocoon playing that dude in the fucking
like the old man,
the old folks home, he was like 46,
49. I thought you said
like 49,
but he was in his 40s.
He's in his 40s.
I remember somebody telling me that anymore.
I'm older than that dude by a long time.
Yeah, I'm older than that too, by a significant margin.
They didn't really have dudes like me 20 years ago.
That's super funny.
Yeah.
That's just so funny to me. He came in, he ran in the office, he's like, Jen, I have to tell you something. And he was just like, I just found out that Wilford Brimley was like 49 years old in Cocoon. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, I remember somebody telling me that before, and it kind of like blew my mind. Because he looked like an old man.
Like an old man, yeah.
And I'm like, fuck, I'm like 4 or 5 years older than him now. And I don't look like an old I don't look like an old man, I hope, but you know what I mean.
And that was him in The Thing, too, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was also in The Thing.
He's in The Thing, yeah. Which meant
and that was in the early 80s.
It was only a couple years before fucking Cocoon, so he would have been at least 45.
When did Cocoon come out? 88?
No,
86.
It wasn't that late. Maybe 85.
I can't.
Maybe 85, 86, something like that.
I saw that movie, but I think I only saw it one time.
Yeah.
So I don't really remember. Yeah, it might have been mid-80s.
Yeah.
Now that I'm thinking about it. Okay, so that was only a few years later than The Thing.
Yeah.
Because The Thing came out in 81 or 82.
Yeah. A few years later, he was on that shit.
That's hilarious. Like we comment about that all the time because I watch a lot of old movies, and it's just kind of like, man, you see movies in the fucking 60s and even 70s and stuff like that.
People are all young.
And it's like they look like they're like 40 or 50.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah, they're like 32. And I'm just like, get the fuck out of here. We know some 32-year-olds, they look like babies.
Yeah.
They look like fucking literal children.
Little kids.
So, that's crazy to me.
Christopher Reeves in Superman 1 was like 26. You're like, what?
I mean, he looks good in that.
He doesn't
look 26.
He's like
he looks
26.
older than that.
He's like 26. I'm like, what the fuck?
I'm just saying.
He's in his 20s.
Oh, Count Orlok says, Jenny, there are memes of Wilford Brimley and Paul Rudd at the same age compared. Well, Paul Rudd is... that dude never ages. I don't really understand. Like, he looks exactly the same.
Which one is that gonna do?
He was in... I'm trying to think of something you would have seen that he was in. He was an Ant-Man. He was Ant-Man.
I didn't see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I think.
Yeah.
I know he's been in other things that you've seen, but he just seems to like look the same.
Yeah.
You know, it's just kind of like people back then just they aged quicker. Yeah. You see people now, like you see actresses and shit like that are like fucking 55 and that could pass for fucking 30, you know what I mean? Whereas back then,
even the jacked motherfuckers.
Yeah.
If you compare The Rock to Arnold Schwarzenegger, The Rock, he's almost I think he's my age basically.
Yeah.
And he stayed fucking looking good for a long time compared to Arnold. But by the time Arnold hit his early 50s, you could tell that he had gotten a lot smaller. Which is kind of strange. Now, The Rock's, he's small now. He's the pebble. He came off all that shit. He was running it hard for a long time. Fucking running testosterone and steroids for a long time. And it just...
Skeletor's, bless you. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, I'm going to sneeze.
When you've been running it that long, and those are heavyweights, those guys are over 6 feet tall. That's a huge frame. So you just can't run it that hard. Same thing with that other dude that was in James Bond, that fucking, what's his name, the guy with the Hispanic name, another big dude, fuck. He's been in a lot of same action movies. He was in fucking, what was that guy's name?
I don't know, I can't think of who you're talking about.
He was in one of the James Bond movies as one of the henchmen driving the, what's his fucking name? Big motherfucker.
I don't know.
He's little now too.
Dave Bautista?
Batista.
Yeah.
That's what I said. Yeah,
that's what I was trying. I kind of knew who you were talking about, but it's because he's been in a lot of shit.
He's unrecognizable now. Those guys were carrying too much weight for too long. They weighed a lot. Human heart can't take it.
Count Orlok says Steve McQueen as a teenager in The Blob. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a lot of movies back because I watch MST, so they do like a lot of kind of 50s teen monster movies and stuff. And the people that they thought were going to pass for teenagers back then, I guess it worked out. And some of those people were not old. Like, some of those people were in their 20s, but looked a lot older.
Well,
although, I will say, so the funniest example of that wasn't even from a movie. It was actually from a short. One of the shorts they did on MST was called, I think it was called Are You Ready for Marriage? And the girl they had kind of playing the main character was, she was supposed to be a college student. She could pass for a college student. I mean, she was clearly in her 20s. She was playing younger than she was, but it wasn't egregious. Like, she could still pass it. Her roommate, however, looked like an old fucking woman and was supposed to be like the same age as her, because at some point she says to the other girl, I remember ever since we were in high school together or elementary school together. So they were supposed to be like the same age. And I was like, that woman looks like she's old enough to be your mom. Seriously. And, like, obviously, like, it was MST, so of course they got a lot of mileage out of that, because this woman was clearly, not to be mean, but she was clearly an older woman. And I was kind of curious, because I'm watching it being like, man, this bitch is, like, at least in her late 40s, early 50s. That's what I thought. That's what she looked like. And I was like, and the fact that they're trying to pass her off as, like, a college student that's the same age as this other clearly much younger girl, I thought was very funny. So I was just kind of like, how old was this woman really? 38. She was 38. I thought she was legit like 50. Easily. She looked old enough to be the other girl's mom. And they made so many jokes about that. Like, because they're supposed to be roommates, they're supposed to be the same age. And she's just like saying like all about all her problems and all of her stupid boyfriend or whatever. And then this other woman is just kind of like giving her advice, and she's just like, hey mom, what's it, you know what I mean? Yeah, it looked like her mom. And I was like, I just thought that was so funny. No shade on that actress. It's like, I feel kind of bad, but it also kind of blew my mind that when I looked it up, she was only 38 years old, and looked like old. She looked much older than that, to be honest with you. I know it was just like the styles at the time. It wasn't that she was wrinkly or nothing like that. It was just that, I don't know. It was just like the whole vibe she gave off, the hairstyle, a lot of that kind of shit. People just looked a lot older back then. Count Orlok said in that MST short, weren't they calling her Romulan? They might have. Now, So it might have been her. They might have called her a Romulan. I do remember them calling the one girl in Horror of Party Beach. She wasn't like a main actress, but she was one of the girls that was dancing like in that big stupid like dance/fight scene. And there was one girl in there that did. She was cute, but she had like kind of a forehead, and she had kind of a thing going on. And I think Servo said something like, "Yeah, bring it, Romulan babe," or something like that. You know what I mean? So it was that. But I think they might have compared her to a Romulan. Yeah. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Hey, Skeletor, if you've been listening for 8 years, man, friend me and Jen on Facebook. You can find us, or you can find us through Instagram. It don't matter. Yeah.
Well, hello there. It says, no doubt performed at my high school grad night at Disneyland in June 1995 in front of a couple hundred people. 6 months later, they were huge.
Yeah, Gwen Stefani.
Wish I had paid more attention at the time. I actually quite like them.
Yeah, they good.
I don't
writing.
think I bought any of their own of their shit or anything, but it's like I was like, yeah, that's a good
That was almost in like the mall goth phase of the world, when fucking Hot Topic was big as shit.
And they had
90s,
a lot. They had kind
2000.
of a ska influence as well.
They were good, yeah.
Because that was kind of a thing at the time.
I remember when Gwen Stefani did a fucking song together with Moby.
Oh yeah, I remember that
too. Yeah, it was called. Fucking,
I had totally forgotten about that.
Yeah.
Like
West Side.
The fuck was the
going
name
to
of
the
that
West
song?
Side or East Side?
Yeah, I kind of remember that. That was a long time ago. And like I said, it was just kind of like my sister would probably know. She's younger than me.
South Side.
Okay,
South Side.
there you go.
I forgot what your fucking real name is, man.
That's Victor, right?
Victor, yeah. Victor's in here to tell us what made him gay. How much of that you got left?
Not much.
You want another?
Yeah, might as well.
Okay.
I mean, you can just put more booze in. This is a smaller glass.
Yeah, that's Victor Garcia.
Yeah. But yeah. Counter Orlock said, didn't Arnold have like 3 heart surgeries since the 90s?
No, I think. But I know if he only had one.
I mean, that's still. I've had 0 heart surgeries so far.
Arnold did well because he was fucking huge by the time he was 18.
Not trying
And
to
he was on fucking sauce. He's been on sauce his whole life. He's lucky to be alive with the amount he was.
To be honest, yeah. Like I said, it's if you start that young, it's really not. If you start when you're older, it's not that big a deal. But if you start when you're younger and just keep going all that time, yeah, that's your body's not really built to fucking do that. Counter Alex says horror at Party Beach and the sodium. Wonder if there's an edgier version like The Brain That Wouldn't Die. Yeah, I mean, I just watched that episode like a couple weeks ago, and honestly, like yesterday was Thanksgiving, so it's tradition. I always put on the Turkey Day Marathon, which it's I guess it was like more of a special occasion, like back in the day, because now there's MST channels streaming all the time, so it's like if you want to watch MST streaming, you can just put it on. It's on YouTube, it's on Pluto. I think Tubi's got a channel. Everybody's got one, but it's like I still kind of do it anyway. Now a lot of people were mad. I don't know how you feel about it. A lot of people were mad because Netflix actually released the rights to the MST3K reboot, so seasons 11 and 12. And so the big thing this year was like we're going to show all those episodes, but interspersed with like the older ones. Because so when I put it on yesterday, they were kind of going back and forth. Like they'd show an older one, like a Joel or a Mike, and then they would show one of the newer ones with Jonah. And honestly, I didn't mind that. The new ones are different, but like the riffing is a lot faster. Like it's a lot higher volume. And it's not quite as... I want to say the riffs aren't quite as obscure, but I don't know if that's true. I think it's only more obscure, the older ones, because they referenced a lot of like really old shit, like 60s and 70s stuff that a lot of younger people might not remember. So it doesn't seem obscure to me because I remember a lot of that stuff because I'm about the same age. I'm slightly younger than the MST guys, but I remember a lot of the stuff that they're referencing, like old commercials and shit like that. So doesn't seem obscure to me because I remember most of the same shit that they remember.
Now, Count Orlock's saying that he thought that Arnold had some kind of inherited heart problem from his father. No. They always come up with something like that. That's not what it was, though. everybody's going to tell you their stock advice is, oh, don't take that shit. It's bad for your heart. The testosterone. No, that's not what it is either. What it is steroids and testosterone will allow you to get big, especially if you have damn near unlimited money where you could buy a lot of this secret sauce and you have time to work out. And then all the money you're going to need to buy all that fucking meat and all that protein to eat it, to synthesize it into muscle. It's not so much the steroids that's fucking you up. It's the size. The steroids are allowing you to get to a certain size. You can get so big that you're bigger than you should be. The human heart didn't evolve to be strong enough to power a body that big. You got to think about it this way. Let's say you weigh 300 pounds and it's mostly fat. There's not a lot of resistance in that fat. So when the heart pumps, there is a lot of stress on the heart valves, but there isn't as much as if you weighed 300 pounds of muscle. Okay, muscle's a lot harder. There's a lot more blood vessels in there. The pressure on your heart is a lot greater. If you're taking steroids, the heart itself will get bigger and stronger like the rest of the muscles. But the valves are made out of cartilage. And now you have a huge, powerful fucking heart with these little flimsy cartilage fucking valves that couldn't grow because they can't grow. So every time the heart beats, man, those valves fucking flex and they wear out over time. So these dudes that got big when they were young, they can be big 20 years, maybe 25 years, but they can't be big 40 years. Those heart valves are going to fail. And that's what happened to Arnold. They had to go in there and fuck with his heart valves. They put artificial valves in probably. And then he starts backing off the sauce and he got smaller and smaller because you're only going to be as big as the amount of hormones that you have in your body to support that size. And steroids are synthetic hormones. That's all they are. It's like a growth hormone type situation. So, no, he didn't have... And when they're famous, they never come out and say, well, I got too big because of these steroids. They don't say that. Fucking Arnold never admits to taking steroids. Actually, I think he did. He said, oh, I took only a little bit. No, he says, I took like 100 milligrams of this and 50 milligrams. Don't believe a fucking word of that. Because now we're in the information age. You got all these gym bros in there, and they're fucking slinging sauce, and they're doing a bunch of weight, and they're not shy about how much they took, because that stigma is not around anymore amongst the younger generation. So we know how much it takes to get as big as Arnold, who isn't big by today's standards. There's a bunch of dudes who got much bigger in the 90s. But to get as big as Arnold back in those days, you're going to have to be doing at least 2,000 milligrams of fucking mixed stuff in a stack to do it. It's not this 100 milligrams of this, or no, like 2,000. And it was in a time, Arnold lived in a time where if you said you were taking anabolic steroids, that people would think that you were cheating, that anybody could just inject the shit and get big. So people would attack what they did. Oh, well, anybody can get big if you're on steroids. That's a total lie. No. Genetics are a factor. The amount we trained, the amount you ate, how much work you put in it, how much you were taking. That's all factors. It's not easy. And then when you see guys like Arnold, he's still like at least top 5%. Most dudes could take the same amount he was doing and eat the same amount, and they would never get that big or look like that. So just because you take a steroid doesn't mean you're going to turn out like that and that it's going to be easy. No. When you see these pros, the dudes that are famous, they're a perfect storm of really good genetics, good training, fucking exercise, good training discipline, great diet, and they're on the right fucking drugs. It's a mixture of everything. Everything's maxed out. Anybody can fucking take the shit, you'll have some improvement, but you won't be like that dude. And then when they get famous, they fucking sign these agreements with the studios. Okay, I won't tell anybody what I'm doing, because then my value as a star will decline. So it could be that they weren't able to tell people what they were doing just because of some contract that they had signed with a studio. It could get very complicated. That's probably what it was. Legal agreements.
I was gonna say, Count Orlok, since you brought up the brain that wouldn't die.
Yeah.
I think that
brought that up?
probably no. Count Orlok
okay.
brought that up. Because I was talking about MST before.
Yeah.
That's probably one of my very favorite Mike episodes. And that was the first Mike episode. Man, he just came out fucking swinging. I know he'd been the head writer on the show for many years at that point, but there was just so much to work with in that movie. I mean, the premise of that movie being that this shitty, amoral fucking doctor has his girlfriend beheaded in a car accident and decides he's gonna find her another body, so he goes cruising like strip clubs and shit like that, like to find her a fucking body, and she's like in a pan, and then just like all the fucking skits they did with Jan in the Pan, like with with Mary Jo Peele like playing the Jan in the Pan, and that was like so fucking funny. So I kind of want to watch that again now. Honestly, before the show today, because the MST Turkey Day Marathon goes on for several days. So it was on today, too. It's on all weekend. And so before the show, I was actually turned it on to see what was on. And it was actually Quest of the Delta Knights, which is another really good episode. With David Warner in it, of all things. He throws his pee at someone. Yeah. It's a whole thing. So yeah, I forgot how fucking funny that episode was. But I watched it like pretty much all day yesterday. Because I didn't really have anything else to do. So I was watching that. We saw Boggy Creek 2 last night.
Yeah.
Beast of Hollow Mountain, which was one of the newer like Jonah episodes. Which, like I said, I like those. I know a lot of old school. Every time they play one of the newer ones, like there's always like 20% of the people in the live chat, oh, fuck this, I don't like the new and then they start to cry, and I'm just like, piss off then. Like, I think the new ones are funny. Like, they're not exactly the same, but, fuck off. Like, we still have riff tracks. We still have Cinematic Titanic. You can still watch the old guys doing the stuff. It's all good. I don't understand why they feel the need to, like, shit on everyone else's birthday cake. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't like it, piss off. Go watch something else. I think the new ones are funny. Some of them funnier than others, but honestly, the newer one that they did, I don't remember if it was season 11 or season 12. The one they did that was like that disaster movie, Avalanche, I think Mia Farrow was in it. That was fucking gold. That was so fucking funny. I'd like laugh my fucking ass off watching that one. But, Skeletor says, I remember watching the Ed and Lorraine Warren episode on an airplane back in like 2018. Yeah. Fuck those guys. Yeah. But love you all.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, we did a couple different shows on them.
That's a long time
Those
ago.
were, yeah, but like I said,
that was one of our biggest shows. That show got such huge hits.
Yeah,
they fucking hated it. They're talking shit about us and everything.
That was easily our most watched episode, and also the one that got the most hate comments.
Yeah. And it's by people who are fundamentalist Christians.
They were just super offended that we would call out.
They called out the Warrens.
What? They're grifters.
They're
I'm sorry if that hurts your feelings, but it's true.
Yeah, they're a source of good entertainment and fantasy, but they're full of shit. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not being mean to you. I'm just saying that's true. They were fucking grifters. They knew it.
The paranormal grifters.
Then
I can't wait to go to the club tomorrow.
It's just so funny that of all the shows that we've done across many different topics, that is easily we don't really get a lot of hate comments, or if I do, we don't.
They don't get notifications like we used to either.
I mean, I do, but I don't read a lot of the comments because why? But like, if something comes up that I know, I'll be like, oh yeah, okay, but whatever. But most of the time, we don't get a lot of negative comments, but whenever we do something that has anything to do with like religion, people get super butthurt. Yeah. Like we'll easily get like 100 times more hate comments on that than on anything else. Yeah. Which shouldn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me. Yeah.
Yeah, no, the Warrens were fake.
Yeah, they were just
and
trying
they were
to,
on some real cases.
They were just trying to write some books, man.
Yeah.
Ooh, I feel demons in here. It's fuck off. No, you don't.
He's a demonologist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like such a made up job.
Yeah. I'm a professional demonologist.
Professional demonologist. Oh, you got demons.
Yeah.
What the fuck, man?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let me see.
The second one we got the second biggest show was the fucking show we did on fucking Logan's Run.
Yeah, we got a lot of hits on that. Well, I think, and that was a long time ago. That was like literally one of the first movie reviews we did. I don't think it was the first one because I think the first one we did was maybe The Shining or The Thing.
Yeah, that was before we were even live streaming. That was
yeah, we didn't start live streaming until the 200th episode. Yeah. So until we were separate.
Logan's Run got us so many fucking hits.
But when we did Logan's Run, because I think at the time that we put that up, there weren't a lot of other reviews of that movie.
Yeah, people liked that movie, and some we had a lot of comments thanking us about our review of Logan's Run, how good that movie is. It's a good movie for its time. It was just that Star Wars came out right after and just fucking washed it away.
Yeah, but I mean, I still legit love Logan's Run.
Yeah,
Counter Rolex says the film crew with the Rue McClanahan movie. Oh, I remember that. It was so good. Like the film crew, I know that it went into riff tracks later, and it's like so that's why. But I think I have all the film crew DVDs. They didn't put out that many, but I'm pretty sure I have all of them. They have like Wild Women of Wongo and what was the movie with the dudes with the pop eyes, like the aliens? Can't remember what that one was called, but they did that one. But yeah, I will never not watch like anything that like Mike, Kevin, and Bill do because those fucking dudes are hilarious. We'll go to the riff tracks live sometimes if they do it. They only do it once or twice a year, and sometimes it plays in theaters close to here, sometimes not. But if they do it in theaters here, and honestly, a few years back we went to the riff tracks live Birdemic, and I took Tom, and Tom is like ambivalent about MST. Like I think it's pretty much the funniest thing ever. But he's like, well, a lot of the older shows, like, I don't really get, like, a lot of the references. Like, he doesn't know what they're talking about. Because a lot of their jokes are kind of multi-layered, or they're referring to stuff that he hasn't seen. So it's just kind of like, you know. So he doesn't get why it's funny. But when we went to the Riff Tracks Live, Birdemic, he's like, oh my God, that was, like, the funniest. Our faces hurt, like, from laughing so hard at that, you know. We've seen a lot of the Riff Tracks lives. We saw the Manos one. We saw Giant Spider Invasion, which that's still one of my favorite MST episodes too. So I like that they redid it like as a Riff Tracks with all different jokes in it. But I think the Birdemic thing, that was still one of the funniest fucking. That's still funny. You can. I think it's on Tubi actually if you want to see it. The Riff Tracks live of Birdemic. They just, like I said, they had so much to fucking work with. Actually, Tubi has a lot of riff tracks on there. A lot. Because I will scroll through there like every now and then. I'm like, oh, shit, haven't seen this one, haven't seen this one. Holy crap, when do those dudes sleep? I don't know. Because they have a YouTube channel also, and they put shit on there, and they also put shorts on there. So they riff shorts all the time. And they also do riffs of new movies. But obviously they can't put those because they don't have the rights to those movies. So it's like you have to buy the movie and then sync up, you know, the riffing with the movie copy that you have. So you can do that. But if it's old and they can get the rights to it, then they'll put it up on their channel. So there's like a ton of it up on Tubi and stuff.
Count Orlak was asking if I remembered a football player that dabbled in acting named Lyle Alzado. He was a massive dude. The name sounds familiar, but I don't remember what movies he was in. There was a time, you know, when all the American action heroes had to be fucking big. They were all competing with Arnold. You had to be this big motherfucker. You're going to be an action star. And the market only kind of responded to that. I don't think it responded as well as people thought it did. It had to be, not only did you have to be big, you had to have good writing. It had to be a good movie. Because there was a whole barbarian thing, you know, about these two barbarian brothers who were fucking big, roided out motherfuckers doing barbarian movies. They looked great on the fucking cover of the VHS tape, but the movies were shit. So it wasn't just size, you know. It was, Arnold really made it because he was in good movies, you know, fucking The Predator, Terminator. Come on, fucking. What was the one with what goes to Mars? Fucking Total Recall.
Total Recall, yeah.
Yeah, fucking Running Man. Even though that movie was kind of, they cut all the good shit out of the Running Man, and they made it.
There's a
almost
remake
G-rated.
of that coming out, or I guess
it came
it's
out
not.
and it bombed.
It's not. Yeah, I guess it's not
Yeah.
a remake. I guess like another version
It's
of the,
it
of the
bombed.
novella.
It's already out.
It looked like they changed it a lot just from the trailer.
Yeah.
I saw the trailer and like I didn't really keep track of it after that. We still have to see The Long Walk, but it's still $20 to rent it.
Yeah, we'll see it.
I have been trying to... What I'm trying to do in December, as I have time, with a view to doing, you know, hey, these are my favorite 10 or 20, however many I come up with, horror movies of the year like I did last year. I did a top 20 last year because there was a lot of good horror movies came out last year and I saw a lot of them. This year I might do 10 or I might do 20. It depends. So I'm trying to make a list of like all the new shit that people have been recommending. And so I've been watching all of them. And today I watched Together, which was great. It's like a body horror movie. It's supposed to be set in the United States. It was shot in Australia and like the director's Australian, but it's not an Australian movie, you know what I mean? So it's supposed to be set in the Pacific Northwest. Man, that was really good. It's like body horror, but I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I rented that on Amazon Prime. I think it was $2.50. I had a discount.
No, but I don't. I remember the name Carl Weathers, but I don't. Excuse me. I remember the name Lyle Alzado, but I don't really remember the movie that he was in. I remember he was trying to do some shit. What I want to remind you of was Carl Weathers. Remember Action Jackson? When that shit came out, I loved it. And there's gonna be another movie, but it never came back out. And it was an Arnold Schwarzenegger style movie, starring Carl Weathers, and I think Vanity was in it. Wasn't Vanity in that one?
I don't really remember.
Yeah, I saw it in the theater and enjoyed it. And they were trying to do like a black action hero series, but they never came out with a second one. I remember seeing an interview with fucking Carl.
I remember that.
Carl was like, man, the
really
movie did well, but for some reason they never did another one. He liked it. What'd you say?
I remember that didn't do super well, but maybe it did, and maybe the sequel just never went anywhere.
I saw it in the theater and I liked it.
Yeah, I didn't see it in the theater. I think I saw it like on cable, but I remember liking it.
You can get it on Blu-ray, but they want a lot for it.
Yeah. Oh, Count Orlok says we saw Riff Track Space Mutiny live. Yeah. Oh, that's a good. I love the MST riff of that. Like Space Mutiny was like, what the fuck was that movie even? With like, and speaking of bodybuilding, that had fucking, what's that dude's name? Red Brown. Yeah. Red Brown, who was he was in like a lot of those sword and sorcery movies, like in the 80s and stuff, because he was a big bodybuilder stuff. Yeah. And he was in Space Mutiny, and holy crap, the whole sequence on the MST episode I'm talking about of of the thing where he got on the golf cart or whatever the fuck, or Zamboni or whatever the fuck it was, and was like, and they were having this whole fucking chase at the end, and that one scene, I think they used it as a stinger, like on the episode, where he just like totally screams like a fucking woman and then is suddenly fine again and then just jumps out of the car. It's like, oh my god, that's fucking comedy gold. And they just, I love that they didn't even riff on that. They just fucking cracked up because it's just so fucking funny. Yeah. That shit is so fucking funny. And I love the whole sequence about the woman that was killed, but then because there was a continuity error, the next scene she was still sitting at the console, like at her job or whatever, and they're like, "Well, hey, she died." Oh, I think it's so nice of you to give that dead woman another chance because she's fucking sitting there, even though she died literally a scene before. I just thought that was so fucking funny.
Yeah, they're confirming that Vanity was in Action Jackson, and I haven't seen that movie in so long. I haven't seen it since I was a kid. I like to revisit it to see if it was as good as I remembered. And I remember nothing about the movie. I just remember enjoying the movie.
I mean, I wouldn't mind rewatching it because I don't remember anything about it either.
Yeah, and Vanity was in it.
Well,
I don't remember. I think he was like a private detective, if I remember correctly.
I don't remember. I'd be lying if I said I remember anything about it. I've seen a lot of movies. It's like I forget a lot of them. Well, Hello There says, you saw Birdemic Riff Tracks live. I'm so jealous. Yeah, we went to the theater and saw it. We didn't see it in we didn't see them live. That's in Nashville, but we saw it live in the theater in Florida when they were, broadcasting it. And literally that was one of the funniest things ever. Now Victor says, I fucking love Dave Franco. He was in Together, the movie I watched today. Yeah, I'd heard so much good about this, and I'm kind of a cheap bitch. So I was like waiting for it to go on sale. So I was like looking, and then I looked today because I didn't have anything to do, and I was just kind of like, oh look, it's only like, it was on sale like for $2.99 or something. I was like, bitch, I'm watching this, and it was great. It was kind of like, it homaged The Thing for sure, and a few other things, but it was its own thing going on, and I love that the actors at the center of it there are a couple in real life. So I like that they kind of use that dynamic to kind of give, because you can tell, you know what I mean? You can tell like the chemistry between them. But man, it was just a great idea for a movie, and it's like, I really liked it. So I think that'll probably be in my list for sure. But I made a list today. I was like, these are all the horror movies that came out this year that I've seen, and it's quite a big list. And I was like, well, these ones I saw, but I didn't love them. So it's like, if I'm doing a top 20, they might turn up on there, but a top 10, probably not. So I don't know. I've already got 10. So, but I'm going to watch some more. I want to see The Long Walk. I want to see 28 Years Later. There's a couple other ones that I wrote down that I wanted to see that some people have recommended that I haven't seen yet. And if you guys have any recommendations for horror that came out in 2025 that you think is worth watching that I haven't seen yet, then let me know, because a lot of shit comes out and I can't keep track of all of it, you know what I mean? Well, Other says, Reb Brown flunked out of the Chuck Norris School of Acting. It's a travesty that Chris really had to share screen with him in The Howling 2. That's right, he was in it, because he was in a lot of fucking movies sorry Reb Brown, but, or, Flat Chunkhead or whatever the fuck, because they came up with all these funny names for him in that fucking Space Mutiny episode. But he was just not a great actor, really. But I guess for the time he looked like a big muscly dude, and he was like in a lot of. So if you were kind of a B movie and you needed a big muscly dude and you couldn't afford Arnold Schwarzenegger, I guess he was the dude you called. I was actually amazed because when I saw Space Mutiny on MST, that was actually the first time I'd actually seen him. But then I found out later that he was in like a bunch of other fucking movies. He was in, what was that one? Shit. It was one of those kind of sword and sorcery movies. I only knew of it because Brandon Tenold did a movie review on it, or like a riff on it, but I can't remember what it's called now. Your something of the future something. I don't remember what it's called. Counter says I got to see the Silent Night Deadly Night remake next month. Yeah, tell me if it's any good. I'm not enthused about remakes. Like, sometimes they're good, but when it comes out, I'm always kind of like, eh. I'll wait. If everybody says it's good, then I'll go see it. But I can't. The thing about it is you can't be too much of a butthole like that, because last year, for example, like the video that I did, when that movie The First Omen came out, which was like a prequel to The Omen, which came out in 1976, of course, and I was just kind of like, meh, but then everybody's like, no man, it's really good, and then like I watched it, I was like, holy shit, it is really good, look at that. And I was kind of pissed that like I didn't watch it before, because it was actually really good, like much better than it had any right to be. So you can't just discount stuff right out the gate, but generally I want to see something original. I don't usually, because I know a lot of people have picked, because I was looking at a bunch of Reddit threads and stuff, and I was like, what's everybody picking for like their best 10 like horror movies of the year? A lot of people were picking like Final Destination Bloodlines and stuff like that, and I was like the first Final Destination was good. I don't think I saw any of the other ones. I know a lot of people really like that series. And the first one was fine. It was like really entertaining. And the trailer for this one did look pretty entertaining, but it's not usually something that's going to be like first on my list, like to watch. Like that'll be way down the shit, you know? Like, if I hear a lot of people saying it's good, then yeah, I'll get around to watching it. But usually I'll just watch something that's kind of a standalone before I watch any of that. Your Hunter from the Future. Thank you very much. I knew it was Your Future or something. I couldn't remember the name of it. Yeah. Oh, and Red Brown was Captain America in the 1970s. That's right. Forgot all about that. But I only found out about that later. Like, after I saw Space Mutiny. Like, fucking Space Mutiny. Wasn't that made in South Africa? I feel like that was a South African movie. And I love that it was supposed to be this big spaceship, and it clearly had like a fucking boiler room or like a warehouse or something like that. And then like the end of it with the chase with the golf cart things, oh my god, it was just hilarious. And all the shit about like on MST, like, because all these dudes died from like falling over the railings, because you could tell they thought it was like super dramatic
to fall over the
railing. Like
so
so they did it like a bunch of times. And so when they did it on MST, they did a sketch where Servo decided that the ship was not safe enough, so he put railings around everything, and
he had to jump over the railing.
It was just like, I can't even explain like how fucking funny it was. But that's easily top tier MST. That
MST
was.
fucking High Desert said that Howling 2 had a ending tit montage.
You know what? I remember seeing Howling 2. That's the one that's called Your Sister is a Werewolf, right?
Howling 2? I don't know.
Howling 2, Your Sister is a Werewolf?
I don't know.
Isn't that the second one?
I'm not sure.
I remember that being on cable all the time, and I think I saw it back in the day, and I remember it being kind of amusing, but I don't remember much about it.
What is a tit montage? They just
montage.
show different...
Like just a bunch of tits.
Different tits.
In a It's a montage of tits.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's funny.
I remember it being kind of entertaining, but I don't remember much about it. However, I remember like a year or two ago, I was like, oh yeah, I kind of remember this one, and I started watching it, and it was like unwatchable. Like, I was just like, fuck this, and I just like turned it off. So one of these days, because man, the first Howling was so good, and then I think it kind of went off the rails. But I'll give it another watch if I'm in the right mood. You know what I mean? Have I seen the Toxic Avenger remake yet? I have not. Like I said, remakes and sequels are gonna be down the list. I usually will see them eventually, but I usually try to see kind of original or standalone stuff like before I see that. I'm not a big sequel and remake person. But some of them are good, you know what I mean? But you know, I don't discount them right out the gate. It's just that it's not going to be like super high priority, you know. But I don't know. I'm trying to think. There have been. It's not quite the embarrassment of riches as it was in 2024, because last year I had absolutely no problem coming up with 20 really good movies that I wanted to talk about for my video, and then I saw a few more after that probably also would have been on the list had I seen them earlier, like before I did the video, that also came out in 2024. This year I haven't seen as many, so I can't really say, but I easily have 10 already, easily, just out of the ones that I've seen, like the handful. So I've seen a lot of good shit this year too. I don't think it's quite as good as last year, but it's up there. There's been some good shit came out this year. Yeah, Nosferatu was definitely on my list last year. I think it was in... I don't remember what number it was, but it was definitely top 10 last year. Because that was like my most anticipated movie of the year, was Nosferatu last year. I ended up liking a lot of other ones better. My number 1 last year was Late Night with the Devil. Number 2 was The Substance. Number 3, I think, was Heretic. And I can't remember the rest of the, but you know, it's on, there's a video on there where I talked about it. This year I'm not really sure how I'm gonna rank stuff. Like, I already made the list, but I'm not sure, because man, like my top 5, I really liked all of them, but I can't decide which one I liked more because they're like a lot different.
I saw some YouTube videos from like fucking with Midnight's Edge and some of these other programs I subscribe to that watch movies and the movie industry, and they're looking at the data, and this is also mainstream shit too. They're also kind of admitting to this. Big Hollywood studios have basically lost. They lost Gen Z, young people and old people. They're basically just fucking suck. What everybody's watching and liking are these smaller, independent studios and old television series. That's what everybody's watching from like the 80s, 90s, sometimes even 70s and 60s. Evidently, the original Star Trek evidently is doing very well.
That's a great fucking show.
Yeah,
that transcends generation.
Yeah,
and that was before my time too,
Yeah.
and I'm old, but like I love that fucking show.
We had some friends that are in their 30s that fucking came up to Jason and said, "Have you seen that old Star Trek? How good that is?"
Fuck yeah,
yeah,
it's good, right?
yeah. And the big Hollywood studios have to adjust their tactics. You can't do what they're doing. You have to.
Well, like I said, you would think that if you told everybody, it's like, look, you don't have to spend $1 billion.
You don't.
On a movie, and then it's like this big stress, like, oh my god, is it gonna make all that money back? You don't gotta do that.
You have to have high quality writing and
I mean,
storytelling.
yeah, a lot of people will see those, but it's just kind of like, man, just make a good ass movie for a few million, and it's much easier to make your money back.
What they did is they looked at the formulas and tried to constantly make $1 billion, and it's just not gonna fucking happen.
Nah.
Make small, efficient movies with really good storytelling. And make them so people will want to come see them, and they'll come see it.
I mean, holy shit.
The best movies we saw past couple fucking 4 or 5 years, they were all small budget movies. They're fucking great.
I mean,
though.
pretty much.
Yeah.
The thing about it is that the movie we just talked about on Monday, which was Good Boy, was made for under $1 million.
Yeah,
and it's great.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. And then you go to these big tentpole movies where they're expecting to make $1 billion, and they're boring. They're kind of
like I said,
they're mindless.
They're trying to please everyone, and if you try to please everyone, you end up pleasing no one.
Yeah,
that's generally how that goes.
And I think Marvel was the big lesson. They tried to expand Marvel to fucking.
It worked for a while,
but they kept trying to expand so everyone will like it. And then once you start expanding it way out, even the fans don't like it.
And the thing about it is that, I mean, I'm not a big Marvel person. Like, I've liked some of the movies. It's like, they're fine. Like,
you just can't remember them after you.
But yeah, and the thing about it is that there's so much lore, and there's like all these extended movies, and it's like there's the offshoot and that. I can't remember all that shit. Come on now.
Yeah, and they're so special effects heavy that it's like being on a roller coaster ride at a fucking theme park. But when you get done, you're like, wait a minute, hold on, what was that? What was that movie about?
Yeah. Like, it's fun while you're watching it, but it doesn't really stick with you.
It doesn't stick with you.
Like, I've seen a bunch of them, and they were fun while I was watching them, but I don't really remember.
Yeah, they're very thin.
I know some people are into them, and, like, they know all the lore and everything, but I don't, I'm just a very casual viewer. Like I said, I'm more kind of a hardcore horror person. I will watch all the independent horror and stuff. I'm not really into, the big Hollywood stuff. Other than something like Sinners, which was kind of a big Hollywood movie, but sorta. But I mean, at least they did that right.
Just like Disney Star Wars, the 3 movies that they made, the main movies. Force Awakens was okay. I thought they were really going somewhere with it, but then it just went downhill. But I'll tell you what, they looked great. It's just that the story wasn't there. They're not telling you any kind of deeper story that will stick with you, and it was just flim flam, and all the movies are like that. And it's because they try to make too much fucking money.
Well, like I said, it's too try hard, and they're they're trying too hard to appeal to everyone, and you can't really do that.
No, the movie loses its soul. Star Wars 1, 2, and 3, the first, like New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. They were doing their own thing. They were taking people on the journey. They weren't really trying to. Well, they were trying to please you, but they weren't. It wasn't a formula.
I mean, all movies are by their nature. They're trying to make money. Yeah. Like nobody just makes the money. Well, I'm not gonna say nobody makes a movie just because they want to, because a lot of people do. But anytime a studio makes a movie, there's an expectation that the movie is going to make X amount of dollars back, like over its budget. So the bigger that budget is, obviously, the more money it has to bring back in, and it's just kind of like when you get to that point, it's really, really hard to make millions and millions of people across the world like want to go see the fucking movie. I think there's like kind of fatigue.
A good example is there was a science fiction movie that I owned it, bitch, on Blu-ray, and it was made by some guys that just were special effects artists, but they came up with a good movie. It's called Hunter Prey. It was made for nothing.
Yeah.
They had some badass costumes because that's what those guys could make, and they went out into the desert and shot a fucking sci-fi movie. That was kind of like a sequel to Enemy Mine.
Yeah.
And it's awesome, and it's solid.
It's really good.
And it's solid, and it cost them nothing to make it.
Yeah.
You know, and...
They just they made it because they wanted to.
Just because they wanted, and they didn't really care what the audience thought. They well, you'll love it. We're just gonna put this cool fucking solid. And they're taking you on this journey, and the writing is very honest.
I would much rather watch that.
And I'd much rather watch that. Fucking Hunter Prey was better than fucking Last Jedi and all that bullshit because the dudes that wrote it were trying to tell a story, and it was their story, and it's just. And it was solid. It all made sense.
Yeah, the fewer people involved, I feel.
Yeah, and it didn't...
Like I said, I think that was why, going back to the movie reviewed on Monday, it's like, I think that's why Good Boy was such a good movie, because that dude...
Had his vision.
He spent 3 years working with his dog.
It wasn't made by a committee.
Making this movie.
Yeah, it wasn't made by a committee. It was a handcrafted movie.
And like I said, that's commitment.
Yeah. Some people I heard said, well, it's kind of a downer, though. Yeah, it's a horror movie.
I mean, yeah, I don't understand that criticism.
Yeah,
for a horror movie. It's a horror movie.
And the dog lived.
Yeah, the dog's okay.
The dog lived. The dog went through some shit. It was about loyalty. You know, it was a good movie. And
it is a downer. The ending is a downer, but the dog does live.
Yeah, and fucking Hunter Prey is pretty much kind of like a sci-fi version of that movie, where somebody had a vision. They're like, look, we're gonna make a fucking badass sci-fi movie out in the desert.
Yeah.
With
I said,
a bunch of aliens.
I would much rather watch that.
Yeah.
Even if you fail, I would rather just a couple people or like a group of friends vision. They really wanted to do this. They pooled all their money together.
Yeah.
They made a movie. Even if it's not great, I would rather watch that. Because that's probably more entertaining than something that's just this big soulless spectacle that cost $1 billion.
Yeah, and when you watch Hunter Prey, would you think? Did you have a sensation of you're watching a cheap ass movie?
No,
me neither. It didn't matter.
I got immersed in it, and like I said, I don't. You know, I'm kind of like I'm a creative person myself. I write and everything like that. So it's just kind of like when I see a movie, I automatically click into the mode where it's just kind of like, okay, show me, like you know, do what you want. Like it takes a lot to pull me out of a movie. Some things do, but I'm willing to forgive a lot. Like if I'm invested in your characters and I'm invested in the world that you're making. I'm not an asshole about it. It's like, oh, that effect looked cheap or whatever. If it's not pulling me out of the story, then you're good. It's all good.
If you want to see a good sci-fi Mad Max style fucking movie with aliens in a desert hunting another alien, all right, there aren't any humans in the movie, and it looks fucking good as shit. It's called Hunter Prey, and it was from like what, 2010 maybe?
Yeah, it was a while back. I think we reviewed it, but it was a long time.
I have that bitch on Blu-ray, and it's totally forgotten, forgotten, and it looks fucking it's the shit. And the dudes that made it did special effects for a bunch of other movies.
Yeah.
And they said, let's make a movie. They had costumes, and they said, we're making it.
Well, yeah. Like I said, I'm always kind of more an advocate of that because it's like they work in the industry like that. Let's make our own shit. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm gonna watch that. Yeah. High Desert says, have you seen the set photos from Robert Eggers' new movie Werewolf? I have, and it's like that looks bad. I will watch anything that Robert Eggers has put out because he's fucking awesome.
Ken Arley says Hunter Prey looks interesting. He must have been checked it. Yeah, see that one. I own it. It's a fucking excellent movie. And you talk about Boy and His Dog? Yeah, it's like A Boy and His Dog in a way. But it's a sequel to Enemy Mine. Remember the one where the fucking the human guy and the Drac were trying to survive on the planet?
Which I think we reviewed that too.
in the movie they were able. It's not canon. They didn't have a license, but they mentioned the Drax.
Yeah.
And you go, oh, okay, so that's
they were just making a movie in the same universe.
It is in the same universe with the Drax from Enemy Mine.
That's all.
Yeah.
Count Orlok also says, Jenny, check out Two Front Teeth. Yeah, somebody else has recommended that to me as well. This holiday season, and maybe Werewolf Santa. Yeah, I think you were the second person to recommend Two Front Teeth. So yeah, I did write that down. Granther says, my wife wants to see Avatar 4, The Way of Fire, but I'd rather take a cheese grater to the taint. I get it. I've seen the trailer for that. The coolest thing about Avatar is the ride they have at Animal Kingdom.
Yeah.
They have an Avatar section at Animal Kingdom. We just went there the other day, the Disney park. And it's actually pretty cool, like, and the rides are cool and stuff. But the Avatar movie, this is really weird, because it's kind of going back to what Zach said earlier about these albums that were, like, sold billions and billions and nobody remembers it. I kind of feel like the first Avatar was one of those movies that everyone was talking about it. It made all the money, like, back when it came out, but then, like, nobody really talked about it after. I saw it. It was okay. Like I said, it's not really my thing. I don't really like these big spectacle kind of... They're, like, entertaining, but I don't remember them. Like, after. They don't stick with me. And I kind of feel like, though... So, the fact that they're on the fourth movie now, which I didn't realize, I saw the trailer for that when we went to see... What was the last movie that we saw?
We saw that one the other day.
Yeah, we saw the one the other day.
Shit, what was the name of that movie? It was good.
Yeah.
We reviewed it, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Oh, the Predator Badlands.
Predator Badlands.
Badlands. Duh.
Yeah.
How did I forget that?
There's a lot of controversy about Badlands. I liked it.
I liked it too.
Yeah.
But yeah, we saw a trailer for that, and I was like, wait, there's 4? This is the 4th one?
Yeah.
When did that happen? Because that's Avatar. It must be one of those. I mean, they must have been making money, or they wouldn't keep making them. So somebody must be seeing the shit, but it's not me. Like, it's fine. It's a fine movie. It doesn't piss me off. It's not, but it's not really, like I said, it's not really my thing. I'm not really into the big spectacle.
I thought Badlands saved the series. It's same guy who did the other Predator made for a movie one fucking with the Indians in it. It's the same one, but he's got the
Prey.
Predator,
That one was called.
Yeah, Prey. But he's got the Predator lore. It's vicious as shit. And it ties in well with Alien Earth series, and it's in the same universe.
Yeah.
It's in the Ridley Scott universe.
It was fun. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I liked it. Good. Real good.
No
humans in the movie.
That was I know, that was very
not
refreshing.
a single human in the movie.
That was refreshing.
There are androids that look like humans, but they're not humans. Yeah.
Count Orlok says, Jenny, Indy the dog has been nominated for a horror award. Yeah, I saw that. And rightfully so, honestly. And I was writing to my mom, and I was like, oh, we just saw this movie, Good Boy, and we just reviewed it. I was like, that dog should get a fucking Oscar. You know what I mean? And I'm not even kidding. Good Boy was great, and even though it's PG-13, it was way better than 2000s PG horror like The Grudge. Yeah, don't get me started on 2000s horror, because that's probably... I was going to say the 90s was my least favorite decade for horror, but the more that I think about it, because I think that's what I said in my horror documentary that I made, but the more that I think about it, I think the 2000s was probably my
Grabner said there's 5 Avatar movies. That's ridiculous. I only thought there was one. I didn't give a shit about Avatar.
I saw the first one because somebody loaned it to me.
Yeah.
I used to work with a guy who pirated movies.
Yeah.
So he would always be like, hey, watch this. And I'd be like, okay. Yeah. So I'd always I usually wouldn't sit and watch them, like, because, I'd be doing other shit, like washing dishes or working out or whatever. And I would, like, put it on in the background, like, before I went to work. And that was one of the ones that he gave me. I was like, yeah, this is all right.
When Jen's sister had our meet, we had a meetup. Me and Jen went to go meet her sister at fucking Disney's Animal Kingdom. Which I cannot stand in Magic Kingdom. But Animal Kingdom was very cool. I liked it.
Yeah, I love that park. Well, that's my sister's favorite of all the parks. I like that. Also. And she loves Disney, but Animal Kingdom is her favorite.
They had an Avatar virtual ride there that fucking blew me away.
It's great.
It felt just like riding in a fucking UH-1 Huey or UH-60 Blackhawk.
Yeah, you're riding on one of those dragony things.
Flying in this...
And you're just flying awesome. Around. It's like it's virtual, and it's really it's good.
You're supposed to be one of these blue guys. you're one of the blue alien dudes riding on this damn dragon over the fucking Pandora.
Yeah.
And the sense of motion is convincing.
They did a good
I
job
loved
of
it.
that.
Yeah, I was like, man, this feels like riding in a fucking an assault helicopter.
Yeah, they did a
An
good
assault
job.
infantry helicopter. And the girl that worked there, when I got it, I was just, that feels just like fucking riding in an assault helicopter. And she's like, you know? And I said, yeah, that was my old job. I said, that's exactly what it feels like.
Yeah, they
like
did a really
Korean
good job
shit.
with that.
Yeah.
I was kind of worried because I kind of have, not motion sickness, but a lot of those rides that are the virtual rides, sometimes I get real dizzy and like kind of feel like I'm going to barf or whatever. And I kind of felt like that at first, like on the Avatar one, where you go in this room and you get on this thing that's kind of, it's shaped like a motorcycle because they're trying to make you feel like you're sitting on
a dragon.
On that dragon thing. What do they call them out in the movie? I don't remember.
I think they called it a dragon, didn't they?
No, it's
Dragonfly.
shit, I don't remember what they call them in the lore of the movie because, like I said, I've only seen the first movie and that was a long time ago. So you sit on them and the thing kind of like it feels like it's breathing.
Yeah, it's
Kinda,
flexing in and out,
and it's kind of moving and shit. So it feels like you're sitting on something that's alive.
Yeah.
But then like all the lights go out and then the screen in front of you, which is like right there, it just opens up and it's all the way.
Yeah.
So you can't see.
Yeah.
Anything other than that. So it looks really real.
Yeah, it opened up into this fucking world like you can really see. Now I fucking leaned forward and looked down. And I realized we were in levels.
Yeah, it's like a whole bunch
all
of
the way
different
down.
levels of
Yeah,
people.
if
like,
you were to
doing
jump
this
out, you'd fall about 4 or 5 stories.
Yeah.
And you're in there, and it's a big concave movie screen with some kind of projection on there of this thing. And there's wind blowing and fucking water blowing up in
and
your
like
face.
I said, the
and
thing
shit.
that you're sitting on is
sitting
kind
on
of
it, like it's
moving
breathing,
and vibrating
feel like
and
you're on a
breathing
dragon.
and stuff.
They gave you goggles to wear. I was like, how is this shit going? I didn't know what I was waiting for. But you can't see the wall in front of you open up because it goes black when it does that, and then it goes. It's a very
and then suddenly
convincing
you're just
illusion.
opening up until and you're sitting on this thing and you're like in this
and
planet
it's tipping and going back and moving, and then the screen is and it's fooling you into thinking that you're really moving, and there's wind blowing on you. So
the first minute I was kind of like, oh, I'm gonna hurt.
Yeah.
But I was then after I was like, I think I'm okay because I have to keep telling myself I'm not actually moving. I'm not actually moving. I'm not actually moving.
It's as good. It's as good as a really good roller coaster ride.
Yeah, but it's all virtual.
But you're not even moving. Really, you're just tipping and doing that, and they're blowing wind on you, and
but you're going all. The one part that freaked me out though was the part where you go like in that big wave comes and that fucking whale or shark or whatever the fuck it is
jumps
like
up,
like that, and I was like, no, I was like flipping out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind going back to that theme park. I don't like the Magic Kingdom, but I liked Animal Kingdom.
I thought you might.
Yeah.
Well, that's why when my sister said she was coming down and we couldn't go to Disney on the day that she went anyway because of work and various other things. But she said, "Oh, I'm going to be at Animal Kingdom on Thursday." And I said, "Ooh, Thursday's a good day because
what did that cost? About $120 each.
Yeah,
about
it was about
each.
that.
Yeah, good restaurant.
And then and you had never been, and I hadn't been for years and years. My brother worked there for a long time, like as a photographer. But yeah, my sister always says that's like her favorite park out of all of the Disney parks, and it's easy to see why. It's a smaller park, not in terms like just in terms of the part that the public can walk around, and it's a lot more chill. Like when we went, it was like not crowded. Like we got on all the rides like in 5 minutes, 10 minutes max. Like during the time later, you know, a couple of the rides got kind of crowded, like the Avatar ones. And I think we waited for the Avatar ride for like half an hour, but that was like the longest wait. Like most of the rides you could just walk right on them because it's just not as crowded. So it was like, so you could actually walk around and look at stuff. Because if you go to Disney, you know, and I like Disney still, I've been there a lot of times, but it's always really super crowded. So like when you're walking around, you're trying to look at stuff, but you're like, excuse me, you know what I mean? Because there's a million people. So Animal Kingdom was like not crowded, and we got there really early. So we were able to get like on almost all the rides like before it filled up, and the weather was nice, and it was just kind of like we got to do everything, and we did a couple things twice. We actually did the safari thing like 2 times. Because there wasn't a wait in the morning, and then we did some other shit, and then like later in the afternoon we're like, hey, there's not another, let's go on it again, you know what I mean? Because it's, you know, it's a safari and it's actual animals, so there's different animals like walking around like at different times of the day, so you see different stuff, so it's not like you're seeing the same thing over and over. So yeah, so we had a really good time at that. Counterlock says I've never seen any Avatar movie. Something about it kind of turned me off, like Transformers movies. And I watch Transformers cartoons. Yeah, I think I've seen a couple of the Transformers movies. But like I said, even when I was younger, I was never a big blockbuster movie person. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like, they're alright. And like the first Avatar, I saw the first Avatar. Like I said, somebody loaned it to me. And I was like, yeah, it was alright. But I didn't really feel the burning desire to like see any of the other ones. But apparently, like some people are seeing them because he's still making them. So somebody must be watching them.
Yeah, I didn't know.
I didn't even know that there was, because we saw when we went to see Predator Badlands, we saw the trailer for the 4th one. I'm like, 4th one? What? When did that happen? Yeah. I didn't even realize. I knew there was a 2nd one. I'm not that out of it, but I didn't realize there'd been a 3rd one, and now they were making a 4th one. That's all. But I've only ever seen the 1st one. But I will say that the little Avatar land that they have at Animal Kingdom is actually pretty awesome. Counterlock said I saw Tron Ares on Halloween Day. I really enjoyed it, but I know it's $220 million budget. Kind of hurt its box office, but I thought it was great. Yeah, I kind of heard pretty good things about that. Again, it's another one that I really don't... I'd watch it if it was free, like on one of the streaming services or something. But I don't think I'd pay to go see it. Now, I will say the Tron ride at Disney World is pretty rad. But, they just put that in last year before, or something like that. It's fairly recent.
I saw the first 2 movies. I thought they were good. I liked the first one.
Yeah. I gotta pee.
Yeah. All right. Going back to the fucking thing. All right. All right. So I'm back in the chat. Yeah, Grandpa's, I've never heard of fucking Project Florida. Florida Project. 10 times better than Avatar. I haven't seen that one. Yeah. Count Orlock said that he got turned off by the... So he got turned off by Avatar, kind of like the Transformers. Then he watched Okay. I didn't see any of those fucking Transformers movies. But back when me and Jen had like the fucking Stubbs preferred fucking thing from fucking, what was the name of it? I'm fucking drunk. The AMC Theater Stubbs app, we had that, and we went to go see. It was Transformers. I think it was called Bumblebee. Was that what it was called?
Yeah, that's right. We saw that in the theater. I think.
And it was okay.
It was all right.
It was okay. We enjoyed it. We didn't really know anything about the rest of the universe.
Yeah, I haven't been watching them.
It was just a simple movie. And they gave it like a very 80s fucking vibe. The houses were like something out of the late 80s. And fucking... And... this story was okay, We came out, I don't remember a whole lot about it, but we came out of it like, oh yeah, it was okay.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah. So we don't really get too emotional over it.
That's kind of how I feel about a lot of those kind of movies. Like I don't hate on them or anything like that. It's just that if I watch them, I'm just kind of like, yeah, that was fun. But then like a week later, I'm like, wait, did we see that?
Yeah, did we see that?
Like a year later, I don't even remember if I saw it or not.
They don't really seem like very important movies.
They don't stick with you.
They don't really stick with you. It's like fluff.
Yeah.
It's very like fluff.
That's all.
And that was the problem with the Marvel movies that we saw. We enjoyed them while we were watching them. But when they were over, if you were to ask me, well, what happened? I'd be like, I don't really know. I don't really care what happened.
And like legit, if somebody asked me right now,
make
a list of the Marvel movies you've seen, and I even looked at a list, I would not be able to remember
which ones I saw.
Which ones I saw and which ones I didn't.
You don't. The way they're shown and the way those stories are told, you're not really invested in those characters. You don't really give a fuck.
I mean, I guess some people do, but I don't.
It's a very generic like ride at one of the theme parks here.
Yeah.
At Disney or Universal. They're not character driven. It's nothing like, say, a Mad Max movie. Even a bad Mad Max movie had texture to it. These have been kind of like totally purged of any kind of texture to them. Everything is like a very smooth happening visually, and the storytelling wise is very smooth and blah. Very, very vanilla. That's the only way I can describe them. You can really tell a difference between a movie that's made by a committee and one that was made by an individual.
By a person.
Or
a group of a small group of people.
Yeah. They're
You definitely
very
can.
generic.
And like I said, I would much rather watch a failed movie made by one person that was one person's vision.
That had something to say.
That at least had something to say, even
Yeah.
if they weren't successful at doing that.
Right.
I would much rather watch that. You know?
Yeah, I agree.
But that's why, I mean, every now and then, like I said, you get kind of like a bigger movie like Sinners this year, which is kind of like a bigger budget movie, but it was still fucking great, and it was still obviously one person's crazy ass vision. It was like genre crossing and everything.
Yeah, but it was a Southern Gothic.
Yeah.
So you know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't see a lot of big mainstream movies like that.
Yeah.
And I'm just really happy that it made like a whole fuck ton of money. So
Yeah,
maybe they'll
it's a
make
good movie.
more interesting shit like that. But generally I stick with kind of more smaller, you know, independent studio kind of stuff. I don't usually bother with like, I don't have a lot of time, so it's like, so I don't usually bother with anything other than horror movies or, you know, sometimes I'll watch older shit that like somebody recommended, even if it's not horror, but newer shit, it's like I almost exclusively watch horror. You know, because that's kind of my thing.
Yeah.
That's kind of my thing, and it's like a lot of times, kind of mainstreamy kind of movies don't really do it for me. You know. Gramther says the Florida Project and Spring Breakers were both A24 projects that capture both the magic and darkness of Florida. Yeah,
I haven't seen.
I've
Florida
heard
Project.
about those. I still haven't watched them.
What was Florida Project about?
But I remember seeing the trailer for that and thinking, yeah, I should probably watch that. We should probably get around to that.
Yeah.
Honestly, one of these days.
Florida Project.
It's not, they're not horror movies, obviously,
Yeah.
but
Spring Breakers. Okay.
yeah. But yeah, I've heard like so many people have recommended those to me.
Yeah.
I just haven't seen them yet. You know. Counterlock says Tron Ares will hopefully be on Disney Plus soon. I mean, I heard it was good.
This the new one.
That's the
It
new
bombed
one.
for some reason.
Like I said, I don't
People
know.
are going out.
I don't know if it's, you know, like I said, when Sinners came out, that made a fuck ton of money.
Yeah.
So obviously people are still going to the movies.
Yeah.
It's just that I think that
They're going out to only certain kind of movies.
maybe because of Marvel and maybe all this,
Yeah.
maybe people are kind of having fatigue
Yeah.
of that kind of big tentpole event
Yeah.
kind of movie, and they're just like, nah, I don't really want to see that. They just want to see something more interesting, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But like I said, I had Marvel fatigue a long time ago. So
Yeah.
it's
How
just-
long are you gonna run with that? And like I
Yeah.
said, they're not very deep stories.
No, not, and like I said, a lot of people are into that. It's just
Yeah.
that I don't know. I couldn't keep track of all of it. It's just it's too much. It seems like a full-time job keeping track of all that.
Well, you can do superheroes. I thought the Batman series with what's his name was good. The Dark Knight, the fucking Dark Knight Rises. And all
Yeah,
that.
I mean, and that's a few years back.
Yeah, it's a long time ago now. Yeah, but I thought they were good.
Yeah, they were good.
Well, because those movies kind of had texture to them, though. They had a soul. They're not so much like a fucking corporate ride at Disneyland, like like the Marvel movies. The Marvel movies were too formulaic. They're too corporate or something. Like they were written by a committee, literally. You know. Just,
Well, they probably were.
yeah. What was the name of that director that did those fucking
Christopher Nolan.
Christopher Nolan. Yeah, the Christopher Nolan Batmans I thought were good.
But he made a shit ton of other good movies too.
Yeah. But they had a movie-like feel.
Yeah.
They had they were telling a story and it was in its own little universe and stuff. So I liked them.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, the only shit I get excited about is horror movies, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I've kind of been like that most of my life.
Well, there were other movies outside that I like. I like sci-fi too.
Yeah. I tend not to like it.
You
I don't
remember
know.
how good Upgrade was?
Yeah, I
When
love
we
that
saw
shit.
that bitch again, and it was like, oh man, it's even better on the second viewing.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah.
Because I had forgotten, like, I knew it was good, but I'd forgotten how
Oh
good it
man,
was.
if you guys haven't seen Upgrade, you got to see
We
that
just
one.
watched it again like a couple
And that's an
weeks back.
A24 movie, if I remember correctly. And it's a sci-fi adventure / kind of like horror, real good. And it was about a dude who got upgraded.
Kind of, well,
Got upgraded by AI,
it was
basically.
kind of, well, I was going to say it was not really against his will, but he didn't really know all the ramifications,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, and AI won in the end, which they didn't give you. They didn't
Yeah.
give you a fucking in a bullshit optimistic fucking ending. They're like, no, fucking,
Nope, we're
I'm
screwed.
AI. I'm fucking 5 times more intelligent than you are. You know, it's like I won.
Speaking of horror movies
Yeah.
and AI, I mean, I guess it's technically a horror movie. One of my favorite movies of this year was Companion.
Yeah, good movie.
That was fucking great. I really,
I forgot that was this year too.
Yeah, I really liked
Yeah, yeah.
Companion.
I'm
That's
gonna watch that one again.
That's definitely going to be in my top
That's-
10.
That's free to watch.
It's on.
uh,
It's either on Hulu or HBO Max, or
it's on my
it's
regular
on one
television.
of our
Yeah.
streaming services that we have.
Yeah, wouldn't mind seeing that again.
We reviewed it a while back, but that's definitely good. I know, and like some people were saying, well, it's not really horror. It's kind of more of like sci-fi thriller comedy. Like I'm like, whatever. It's kind of a horror movie. It had horror elements to it, but I don't know. I thought it was fucking great. That was easily one of my favorite movies of this year. Was Companion. I thought it was fantastic. Yeah, well, Heather said Companion was great. Yeah, see, I thought it was fantastic. But you know,
Well, that movie had character.
yeah.
So we're like, okay, yeah.
It was a good idea. All the
Yeah.
actors were good. It was just, I don't know, it was just good all around. I can't think of anything I didn't like about that movie. That was one of my
Yeah,
favorite
that
ones
should
of
have
this
been a
year.
mainstream Hollywood movie, but
should
it
have
wasn't.
been. No.
That was an A24 fucking
I
independent.
kind of feel
type
like
flick.
it slightly got, I don't know if it got forgotten about, but it's like, you don't, because I did see it come up like in a lot of people's, top 5 of this year, because they're like, oh man, that was so good. But then a lot of people were like, wow, it's not really horror. That was kind of more like a sci-fi thriller comedy or whatever. I'm just like, I don't know, man. I thought it had horror elements to it for sure.
Yeah.
Now people are saying, because I know that Megan 2.0 came out this year, which I haven't seen yet, but a lot of people are saying, well, the first one was definitely a horror movie. And they're like, the second one is kind of more like an action comedy or like a black comedy.
Yeah, I just heard the second one sucked.
And I was just kind of like, which makes me like a lot less interested, because I liked the first one. It's just that makes me a lot less interested to see it.
Yeah, evidently the second Joker sucked, but we didn't see that.
I haven't seen that either. So like I said, I can't, I can't really judge. But yeah, a lot of people were saying Megan 2.0 was like not a horror movie.
Yeah,
which is kind of a shame.
I just heard it wasn't up to par. That it was just not as good as the first one.
Like I said, I'm really not that enthused about
yeah.
sequels and remakes and stuff like that. Some of them are good. I don't write them off, by definition. It's just that I'll see other stuff before I see those. Like that's like at the bottom of the priority list.
How about you? I'm getting hungry.
Yeah, me too, kind of. Granthers also says, Ethan Hawke, legit horror actor or Gen X LARPer. He was in Black Phone and The Northman. Yeah, he was in Sinister.
The Northman
also.
was a great movie.
I really liked The Northman.
love The Northman.
And I liked the first Black Phone. I haven't seen the second one, but it's on my list because a lot of people picked that as one of their favorite horror movies of the year. So I got to see it before the end of the year.
If you
Black
like
Phone
the
too.
first Conan the Barbarian, the first one, which I love that movie, then you got to see fucking The Northman. It homages it, and in many ways tops it. That is a fucking awesome movie, and I don't own it. I need to buy it.
That was also Robert Eggers, wasn't it?
Yeah, really good movie. It was the original telling of Hamlet. The story of Amleth is the Viking version, and it's badass, and a bunch of shit happens in it, and some of it homages certain scenes out of Conan, because they know what movie they're making. Yeah, I love it.
But I'm gonna say, Victor says Black Phone was dumb. I actually I liked the first Black Phone more than I thought I would. Because it's based on a Joe Hill book, who is Stephen King's son, if you didn't know. I haven't read the book, but the movie was actually much better than I was expecting. So a lot of people are saying, oh, the second one was good too. So I'll eventually get around to it. But Ethan Hawke is good. Like I said, he was really good in Sinister, which I love that movie. He was really good in Gattaca.
Yeah, that was a good movie. I love that.
Yeah, I really like Gattaca.
Yeah.
He was good in that. Jude Law was in that too. And and Uma Thurman.
Yeah.
But it depends on the material he's given. I still want to review Daybreakers one of these days, which he was also in, which is kind of like a vampire movie that he was in. I don't remember when that came out. Late 90s, early 2000s, something. I started watching it the other day, but then I got distracted and started doing something else, so I didn't finish it. But it's just kind of like, because I was like, oh, maybe we could review this, and then I lost interest, I guess. Yeah. But one of these days we'll do it. I don't know. I've liked him in some things, and in some things, so I think he's kind of one of those motherfuckers that's like, it's all about what material he's given, Because I've seen him in some. I thought he was great in the first Black Phone. I really liked him in Sinister. I really liked him in Gattaca. So I've seen him in some shit that he was really good in.
Yeah, if y'all haven't seen Gattaca, see it. That bitch is a masterpiece.
Yeah, Victor said Gattaca was so good. I saw that in the theater. Yeah, I've seen it multiple times. I really, really like Gattaca.
It's about a future in which everybody was genetically engineered, and they were always fucking like trying to hide. People who weren't genetically engineered were treated like idiots. You know what I mean? And you had to fucking
because you were like born from like a vagina. Gross.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like that kind of thing.
Your genes hadn't been filtered through. You haven't been maximized. And in order to get married and shit, to get married and fucking be successful in society, you had to prove they had good genes. But everybody was like trying to hide what their genetic makeup was. So you had girls trying to suck up your fucking hair cells and your follicles, and they'd fucking have that shit analyzed to see how good your genes were. And it's about a dude who was born naturally through his parents. He wasn't genetically engineered, but his younger brother was. Because it was during the change in society. And his younger brother became successful, but he couldn't do shit because he wasn't genetically engineered. Couldn't get a decent job.
Well, he wanted to be...
He wanted to be an astronaut.
He wanted to be an astronaut.
And he could never get that
job. But he hired...
So he hired somebody to fake his
DNA. Somebody that was genetically engineered, but was
in a wheelchair.
Paraplegic.
Yeah. And it was Jude Law. It's a very good movie. So he pretends he's genetically engineered. He's planting this fake DNA. It's the other dude's DNA. It's not him.
Yeah.
So he can become an astronaut.
He's got his fingerprints and his
and he's afraid of getting caught. And the lesson of the movie is, if you try hard enough, you might be able to you can compensate for having fucked up DNA.
Still though, seems kind of a huge pain in the ass.
Yeah. You ultimately can't do that. Fucking DNA does dictate fucking how you're going to turn out. But he was still good. He was still good enough.
It's probabilities. Just because you have the DNA for something, that doesn't necessarily mean... If you have, like, the DNA for a certain type of cancer, for example, that doesn't mean you're absolutely 100% going to get that. It just gives you a much greater statistical chance for getting that. So there's still, like, some environmental factors and shit like that.
Yeah, but the DNA they were worried about in this movie was intelligence. How you looked had a lot to do with it. And how intelligent you were. And fucking how resistant to disease. And women and men judge each other by how good their DNA was, but they were guarded. They didn't want anybody to know what their DNA was like. That was just the way the culture was. So, a very good movie. And that's another good example of a low budget movie that punched way above its weight.
Yeah, I don't know.
And it convinced you that it was in a dystopian future.
Yeah, I bought it.
Yeah, and it wasn't that dystopian. It's just dystopian from our point of view. If you were natural born, you didn't fit in there. You had to be genetically engineered. But everything was all classy and quiet. Everybody was fucking smart. Fucking, But it was another world, though. It was a very interesting fucking concept.
Gramper said he was in Boyhood, which Richard Linklater filmed over 12 years. Yeah, that's right. I still haven't seen that. I need to get around to seeing that because I've heard a lot of good things. Count Orlock says, okay, I'm back. Man, it must have been snowing a bit. I just took my dog out and snow accumulated everywhere, 28 degrees. But feels like 17 due to the wind chill. Holy crap. What is the temperature now? It is 50 degrees.
Victor said he got some other
Florida.
dude's DNA on his hoodie. Yeah, that's right.
It happens.
It's all up on your hood, too. Fucking that shit spraying.
I get your DNA on me all the time. So, I'm just going to say that. But, yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like Ethan Hawke is kind of one of those... Because, man, he was kind of like the it dude. Like, back... Because didn't him and Winona Ryder date briefly, like, back in the 90s or something? They were in, like, Reality Bites and all those kind of, like, Gen X type movies. Which I actually liked Reality Bites. I haven't seen it in a while. But I remember really liking it when it came out. And I've seen him in stuff that he was really good in. And then I've seen him in stuff where I'm kind of like, maybe, like, miscast. So I think he's one of those people that it's like, he needs the material to be, like, right and be, like, tailored for him. You know? Like, tailored to his range or whatever. Do you know that, I think I read this somewhere, that movie that he was in, Sinister, I think from a scientific standpoint, I don't remember exactly how they measured this, but that is supposedly the scariest movie ever made. Which movies being scary, that's very subjective, obviously, but apparently they did a whole study on this because they were trying to figure out, like, and that was the one that came out on top. Which I'm not gonna argue. Like, that is a great movie. It is pretty scary, but I don't know if I'd say that was the scariest movie, but I don't know what I would call the scariest movie, to be honest. I'm so jaded that a lot of shit doesn't scare me anymore, but I don't know. Hereditary freaked me out, that's for sure, but it happens less and less, like, as you get older. Sinister didn't really scare me. It's a great movie, but it didn't scare me. Yeah, Count Orlock said, we're visiting my in-laws here in Maine, so the weather's cold as fuck by October. I love it. Yeah, honestly, I wish it would get colder in Florida. It just doesn't. Like I said, it's 50 now, which is nice.
It doesn't ever really get cold here.
But it doesn't ever really get... If it does, like, sometimes it drops below freezing, but it'd only be, like, for a night or two. And then it'll be warm again.
Victor said that Bring Her Back was a good one.
Oh, that was... Oh, it was so good.
It was good.
That might be... I mean, there's a few more that I have to watch on my list. I don't want to spoil it because I'm not sure. That might be my favorite horror movie that I saw this year. It was so fucking good. I don't know. Weapons was good. I haven't
seen it yet.
Weapons was good too.
Yeah,
Weapons was good. But Bring Her Back was so good.
Yeah, if y'all haven't seen Weapons, see it.
It was so messed up. Like that one scene with the knife. Yeah. If you know, you know. Holy crap. And I've seen, like, a lot of stuff in movies. That movie, I was like, ah! Like, I was just kind of like, no! It was horrible. Oh, my God. Like, there was some fucked up shit in that movie. It was really good, though. I really liked that a lot. And honestly, like, it was the same dudes as Two Brothers that made Talk to Me, which we saw in the theater whenever it came out, 2022 or 2023, whenever that was. And that got a lot of hype, and I liked it. But I thought that didn't live up to the hype. This one absolutely did. I really, really liked Bring Her Back. I thought it was fucking great. So I think that, I don't know. That was kind of one of the things I was talking about earlier, where I was saying that a lot of the movies I really liked this year, I don't know if I could pick which one was better because it's just kind of like they were so different. Like Bring Her Back, probably so far my favorite horror movie of the year. But Sinners was so fucking good, but those two movies are so different. I don't really know if I
haven't
can
seen
compare
Bring Her
them.
Back. You got to show it to me.
Man, it's so good. It was really good.
Where'd you see it? You rented it?
It's on one of the streaming services for free. It's on HBO Max or Hulu. I can't remember.
We gotta see it.
It's because I watched it. But that was probably my favorite horror this year so far. I don't really see. I have some other ones that I still have to watch. But the ones that I still have to watch, I can't see them, like, knocking that off. I can't see them being better than that. But we'll see. I don't know. I really like it.
I'm starving. Want to get something to eat?
Yeah, let's get something to eat. We got, like, so many...
Yeah.
We're just going to get leftovers, right? We're not.
Yeah, I'll put it in a plate and we'll microwave it up here. So then we'll have to fucking... take all that time.
fuck with the oven
fuck
and
with
everything
shit
like that.
down.
Because we had our kitchen redone and we don't actually have a microwave
Don't have a microwave
downstairs
down there, yeah.
anymore. We just have one up
Yeah,
here.
upstairs, yeah. Want to do it that
So
way?
yeah, so we'll just get some more
I
Thanksgiving
will come
food.
downstairs.
I
Come
want some
downstairs and make a
pie.
plate with me.
Okay,
All right.
I'll come down with her,
All
and
right.
I might get another. What time is it?
It's like 10:30.
10:14. Okay, I was gonna say, man, I want to start the new season of Stranger Things on Netflix, but I think I'll start it tomorrow because I'm probably too drunk
Probably
to
too drunk.
remember.
All right. We can watch something else.
I'm probably too drunk to remember what's going on.
All right.
So I have to remember like what happened last
Have a
season.
good night. All right, you guys have a good night, bro.
All right, you guys have a good night.
Yeah.
Thank you for hanging out with us this evening. Thank you for super
We gotta
chats
go to the club tomorrow.
and all of that. Yeah, tomorrow night we're gonna go out dancing, do some
Yeah.
80s like we usually do on Saturday night. So that should be a lot of fun. Looking forward to it. Haven't had 80s in the last couple weeks. Last weekend was Goth Industrial, and the weekend before that it was closed. So we haven't been there for the 80s night. So I'm looking forward to it. It should be a lot of fun. So yeah, so have a good weekend, you guys. And we'll be back on Monday for a movie review. Don't know what movie it is. We'll figure it out. But yeah, thank you everybody for hanging out. And we will see you guys again on Monday night. Good night.